I've got blue souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Rock bottom make a man and some pressure make a gemstone. Try to put $1 to my name like Creflo. Niger boy, late to the game, it's in the blood flow. When I'm from the south, it's thick skin and tough bone. Big attitude through big lips with gusto. Trust no kings, that's why they tried to crush souls. But it's IGBO, when the dust blow, this old head be standing there. No silver, just gold. Crack no books on the hustle, I was born to grind. Yo, scared of your potential, I'm adorned with mine. 30 times around the sun, man, of course I shine. My legacy will not dwarf with time. And in my daughter's eyes, it's basic, I must not say quit. Every day sees a present like a Rob St. Nick. Walk a fine line between tenacious and patient. I can't slip, I'm fighting clocks and they can't win.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones.
Impeccably I flow, hardest raps you know, breaking status quo, reaping what I sow, artistry like Django, get it from my mama hip, so thick that I need tempo, personality spicy, body banging like a bongo, cause black women been it since Timbuktu since Pharaoh, sponge rollers and hot combs, lips, cheeks and brow bones, if you ain't for the culture then please stay out of my zone, these little dummy rappers could never grace my headphones, see I'm from a place in space where ain't no storytelling, you just had to have been there, if you want the battle ain't no problem, say where. I got so much experience, I can't even play fair. But I'ma keep evolving and growing and hurting feelings and showing. You need endurance to go in. I got mileage on this pen. I've been busy cause I've been out here schooling all these kids. Took 3 decades to have this glow up that I did.
I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Count my bones as in desert crumbs flow. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. I've got bruised souls, cause I'm way gone, trying to find my way back home. Who that soldier in the mirror? Oh, oh. I'm gonna turn all of my stones. Turn all of my
checking shoes last night to see if he was barefoot. Is that still the case? Is he barefoot? Because I know on Facebook somebody posted a picture of these could be his shoes, or is that so he is presumed to be barefoot at this point?
What I can say is that his mom says all of his shoes are accounted for at the house. I'm not going to say that he's barefoot.
All right.
Allegedly! Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. Here's a brief disclaimer for tonight's show. Let's watch.
That's ignorant! Allegedly, that's ignorant! Ignorant.
Judgment, Aslı.
Chloe, you read my thoughts. You've got the shinin.
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
Judgment, Aslı.
You just use that shin of yours to call me and I'll come a-running. But don't be reading my mind between 4 and 5. That's Willie time.
Hey, yo, boss. I love him when he does that.
Let's watch.
Don't get me back to good bullshit.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Lady Freedom here coming at you with another raw narrative. And it's so good to see all of you guys tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. I have had a crazy day today. So I've just been working to get some text messages. If you go to the channel, you can find people's comments that they've made in the past. And so I was going through some of those. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew with the Christmas festivities on the reward, because the reward, there's so much out there about excuse me, about the reward fund. It's not even funny. Like it's crazy how much stuff is out there. So I'm waiting for the video to upload, but I'm going to do a part 1, possibly 3 of them, because also I'm going to put some information in when Sabrina talks about the reward. So I want to do a comparison on what she said here, what she said to Piper, etc. You guys kind of know how we do it over here. We look for inconsistent statements, consistent statements, and we search for the truth to go through those muddy waters. So good to see you, Chuchi. Thank you so much for being here. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. Every kind of festivities that you celebrate. I hope that you all have a wonderful time doing that with your friends and loved ones. And if you have extra time, stop over here and watch some videos or join a live stream. And Chuchi says, please use allegedly. In my opinion, always, guys, we always want to do that. Just IMO is good. I mean, every once in a while, throw it in there. Um, Especially, if you're stating something as a fact, but it's not truly a fact. Um, a good example of that is Chris Watts is pled guilty. He's in prison, so we can say that he, in fact, took the lives of his wife and 2 daughters and unborn son. Hey, Janice, Merry Christmas. Thanks for being here. Hey, Justice for Noog. So good to see you. Thank you so much for being here, guys. He got the chips and dip. Yes, tonight it's gonna be fun. It will be a fun. I have to poke fun at some of this because this reward fund has become a really big joke to me. And I know that's probably sounds a little bit insensitive, but it's just because of all of the back and forth and the crap that has gone on with it, and they won't stop talking about it. They won't just leave it alone. I told Jessica long ago, do not. Well, first of all, I said I don't like dirty money. Lil Miss Sharon, so good to see you. Thanks for being here. And I told her that Mary's not going to come off the money and to leave it alone, but she doesn't want to. She wants to have Piper ask about it, and they want to go on and on about it. So we're going to review it because she also talks about it in her live. But there was so much that I wanted to get to, and then also I have had to download all of the voice to text messages that I received, right? Like I was texting, but then the other person was doing voice to text. If I thought it was ever going to be posted here, I would have done voice to text back. That way it would have been easier and it could have been more conversational. But I'm going to do some reading for you guys tonight to get us started. Last night was a doozy reading all the legal documents about going back and forth, all these different, state versus whoever. Hey, Bo, Merry Christmas. Let's get this party started. Yes. And I have 88% to load. So, Joe is drunk off his ass tonight with the holiday cheer. Oh, guys. So, when I was at the store, I got some really cool things anyway for the set for our show tomorrow. And I got 2 like sweaters, sweatshirts, a hoodie, and a sweatshirt. One of them actually lights up, which is pretty funny and cool, I guess. And I also found the National Lampoons, like, what they drink their eggnog out of. I just bought one of them, but I just think it's so cool as a decoration. And then there's this new doll they have of Snoop Dogg, and it's called Snoop on a Stoop. And it is hilarious. I'm going to show it to you guys tomorrow. They had like Martha Stewart and Dolly Parton in the same aisle as Snoop Dogg, and I was dying. Meow, good to see you. But I was super excited about it. So I bought him a sweater and he's wearing it right now. So I got that all taken care of. But yeah, I had to drag my butt to the store. Hey, Faith Auntie, good to see you. Hello. And Cece is here. Good to see you, Cece. Who else? I want to make sure I get everybody that's here. Hey, Maui son. Good to see you. And Valley Gal is here. Thanks for stopping over, guys. Ann Reynolds is here. Hey, Ann, I sent you over a message on Messenger. Let's see. Who else do we have in chat? I love all your Santa emojis. Little Miss Sharon, thank you. Oh my goodness, I'm running so behind today. Hey, Sandwich, good to see you. And who else do we have? Nancy Fleming. I knew I saw some other people too, some new people. KJ Mack is here. Thanks, KJ Mack. I'm a little bit fashionably late, right? Um, A spread that nobody preaches Christmas cheer. My phone can't even get an elf quote right. That's funny. Yeah, I was trying to find like all the funny Christmas stuff that I could add to these videos without getting, in trouble for the copyright stuff. So I hope I didn't infringe on that. I try to be transformative, and I was able to do that with just some of the TikToks that I was able to get. Um, boy, this situation is I can't believe how big it's gotten. Hey, Blessed in Florida, good to see you, Andrea. When it comes to the $6,000, that is not a lot of money, guys. I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? It is, but it isn't. Hey, Brenda Calvert, good to see you. And Brenda says no, Joe, to all the little drink emojis. Oh my goodness. I really want some spiked eggnog to put in this glass and drink out of it so I can feel the, magic of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Hey, Shadow, good to see you. Women's Warrior is here, so good to see you, Women's Warrior. So we're going to be getting into it. Oh, it just saved all the way. Yay. Okay, so let's put it through YouTube, see if it'll let me post her. Um, so yeah, working on this video, I pulled a bunch of stuff in. So let's just talk about Devlin Tate for a moment. I didn't want to put him on the thumbnail or any of the background stuff because I know we're talking about drama tonight. And I don't like to put his face with that. Um, but it needs to be talked about. It's part of the story. So, oh, hold on one second. Sorry, I'm a terrible multitasker. So just bear with me here. No, I don't have that. Mm, no, I do not have that. Sorry, guys. Hmm. All right. So anyway, Devlin Tate went missing 8 months ago. So April 21st, 2025, Devlin leaves his home in the morning. Hey, Witchy Mama leaves his house at about 7:28 a.m. Now, one thing I do want to bring up as a side note is that there's some people that are putting out information, and it's not that it's bad information, some of it is good, but they're saying that there was a call or a text that was not made, in my opinion, right? So I would be very careful with that information, and some of the gals um, had sent it over to me, and then I finally got over to look at it, and oh, okay. So I'm double checking with sources and just making sure that I didn't miss something, because in Devlin's case, we could have missed something uh along the way, right? We have not seen all the call logs. We have not seen um any of that kind of stuff. So, with that being said, um, I think, hold on one second. I don't know why this is not wanting to load in here. Just bear with me. I always have to make sure I don't put it's for kids because there we go. Don't have kid friendly content. Okay. So, the timeline as I know it, and as I've worked with family members, so Tammy, Matt, Sabrina, has come up on the panel. I haven't really conversated with Sabrina back and forth, but she did give a 4 hour, 4 hours of her time sharing about Devlin and about her about how she sees things and whatnot. So, with that being said, I have talked to all of that side pretty much, as well as and I mean, I might reach out to people, as we go along as well. It's not that I'm done reaching out, but I have reached out. Sorry guys, that was me loading that to TikTok. Um so all right, sorry guys. I did not mute myself. I'm too busy trying to put this in here, so I apologize. Um there we go. Alrighty. So I just wanted to upload it to those two places. Um, so either way, I've talked to a lot of people and I also, checked out the messages. I wanted to go through them and see what was said again, just to double check myself. And it appears that Devlin left around 7:28 a.m. He made it over. A witness said that their boss was working at 8 o'clock that day, and that's what time she was coming into work. And on her way in, she saw Devlin in the parking lot by the dumpsters by the Family Dollar, right? And then he makes his way over to Carl's supermarket. And then after that, he goes to Lako Laundry to charge his phone. He talks with Matt, his uncle or brother, for about 30 minutes. And then after that, we do not know what happened to Devlin. The last ping was around 11:47 p.m. So, and that, everything happened in the AM. So there's a lot of hours that are unaccounted for, and something could have happened at any point in time. Um, in my opinion, right? We also hear that Devlin, the night before he went missing, was very active in the town, in the neighborhood, right? He walked up to the church and had dinner with the pastor and some other people as well. Then he headed over to a friend of his house who he knew from church to say probably Happy Easter, if I could guess. And then he was very excited to go visit a girlfriend at the park. There's a park called Swifties in the area. That's the one that Tamara pointed out to me. That would have been the one that he went to go, you know, meet the girlfriend. So, with that being said, um, there's still, a lot to be desired because I heard he was in a very good mood that day. He got an Easter basket, right, that was made up for him by the church, which was really, really sweet of them. He had a lot of food to eat. He was with friends. But then when we hear from his neighbor, she also hung out with Devlin or saw him, talked with him for a little while on Easter Sunday. And she said that he was in a bad mood because of his phone not working properly. And we already knew that Devlin's phone wasn't working properly. So, with that being said, there's a big kind of question mark what could have happened the night before Easter. Um, Now, Sabrina says that when they woke up that morning, he was unusually quiet. He didn't get into, she didn't call it a pissing match, but she called it a rampage. That he didn't go on like a rampage that morning. He wasn't, raging out that morning, but usually he did. But that morning he just got up, took his, picked up, his bedding from the floor in the living room, and then he went out the door. So, and then, you know, did very minimal in town. Usually he hangs out right place to place, kind of like he did on Sunday. It seems like he goes from place to place. Um, A couple of possibilities that I cannot overlook would be that maybe Devlin met someone online, because Devlin was active online, and he was, we'll just say, a little bit naive when it came to meeting people off of there, it seems like, or conversating with people on there, who weren't being very kind to him, right? Like, we heard about a couple of stories where they were sending him on odd jobs, that weren't really jobs, things like that. So we know that about Devlin, right? We know that he was dealing with that. But we also know a lot about what he was dealing with at home in terms of how he was being treated, and kind of how he was being treated by his mom. So we have two sides of the family that are kind of going at Devlin, and then they're bouncing ideas off of each other and talking behind his back and the whole nine yard, so that's very difficult when Devlin was really just looking for someone to have his back, in my opinion. So, with that being said, I think that a lot of people took Devlin for granted. And I don't want to say this, um, to hurt anybody or to hurt Devlin's feelings, mostly is who I'm really worried about hurting his feelings, not really anybody else's. Besides his really good friends that recognize this, because I do know one that does. Um, but a lot of times, people would see Devlin coming and they would be like, oh shit, I got to stop and talk with Devlin and I don't have time, or I can't deal with this right now, or I'm tired or something, right? Or they were too busy, whatever it is. And I think a lot of times Devlin wasn't as well received. Like, he was super friendly to people, but people weren't as friendly, to him as they could have been, or they should have been, or whatever it is. So I think that part is interesting as well, because people did kind of tolerate Devlin, but in the same way, they really had nothing but good things to say about him. The only people that have said bad things about Devlin to me would have been his family members, which concerns me, right? And it's not, um that it proves anything, at all, but it just concerns me, because I think that if Devlin was really having such a hard time with the bullies in the neighborhood, I think that he would have said something about it. But seeing how he was always talking about what Tammy was doing to him, what Sabrina was doing to him, what Will had been doing to him, um, sure, he probably came home and talked to his family about it, but he wasn't putting that kind of stuff up on Facebook for everybody to see it, right? So, um, and that makes me really sad for Devlin, because he was being bullied mostly by the people that were supposed to be taking care of him. And then subsequently, after he goes missing, one of them does take the reward fund, right? So Devlin goes missing, right? Nobody can get a hold of him. Sabrina has some kind of a sixth sense around 6:30 p.m. that something has gone wrong, and she starts calling around and asking people if they've heard from Devlin, right? At 7:30 p.m., and this is all Michigan time, by the way. Matt reaches out to Jessica and asks Jessica, "Have you heard from Devlin?" And she says no. And then after they get off the phone, shortly after, Sabrina calls and talks with Jessica, or Jessica called Sabrina. I'm sorry if I get that mixed up. Either way, they made contact around 8:30. And then we see the text message from Jessica at 8:45 saying, Devlin, I need you to call me. It's an emergency, right? Like, we're looking for you. We need to find you. So that was done, right? And then at 10:32 p.m., they call the dispatch, and Sabrina tells them that Devlin has a friend in the park, in the trailer park, and then the phone pings in the same location. Right? So that's very curious. According to sources that I know, Sabrina was at an odd job that day. Right? Her ex-husband came and picked up their son. And then she and Will went to Sunfield for an odd job. They got back around 2 or 2:30. Will was supposed to start a job that night, an overnight job, but he couldn't because Sabrina said she took his vehicle to go find Devlin. Right? So Tammy is disabled, right? She uses a wheelchair. And I'm assuming that since Will was there, maybe he was staying with Tammy. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't go with Sabrina in order to go find Devlin. I'm still not sure about that. Either way, as it seems, Devlin was missing and Sabrina was the one out there looking. And apparently when the police showed up at the residence where Devlin lived, and it was Tamara and Will, Sabrina was by herself out there by herself, right? And she was the one that called it in to the sheriff's, or excuse me, to the central dispatch, right? And then later on, she posts about how they were, calling all over the place, trying to find out if hospitals had him or anything like that, you know? So there's that. But that was before midnight on April 21st, 2025. Oh, sorry guys, I had to reposition myself there. So with all things considered, Sabrina started making flyers, she started making yard signs, she started making t-shirts for Devlin, and they had a bake sale. And while this is loading up, I'm going to show you guys this bake sale. Just so we all know, and everybody who's in here, I appreciate you all being in here because I know that Devlin's story isn't one of the hottest topics that there are, but I'm very invested in his case because I think we can find him very quickly if we just follow the correct clues in order to find him. I don't think it's, as hard as it seems, if that makes sense. So let's go to this, and I'm going to show you guys the bake sale. Just bear with me here. I don't think I had to turn it into a short. All right, so yeah, this is it. Oopsie daisy. All righty. Okay, guys, just bear with me here. And this was a video I made, and it's just called, They Want, Expect, Demand Us to Believe Devlin Vanished Off the Face of the Planet. Right? So here we go. I'm going to play this. Okay, good. We can see it. Here we go. right, guys. And one thing I just want to point out here, and again, you might have to pause to read it. We've gone over all this. But if Devlin left home at 8:21 a.m., how could he be checking out at Carl's at 8:21 a.m., right? So this is Lansing, Michigan, WLNS. The Ionia County Sheriff's Office has reported on social media that 18-year-old Devlin Tate is missing. Devlin Tate, Ionia County Sheriff's Office. Tate was last seen leaving his home for his daily walk to the stores in Lake Odessa on April 21st at 8:21 a.m. Right, at 8:21 a.m. Hey Kiki, good to see you. So, just wanting to throw that out there. So, I don't know where the discrepancy is, but this is what everybody's swearing up and down. I also don't think he could have made it over to the store in 20 minutes, but I could be wrong. Hey Holly, welcome in. All right, guys. So May 18th, they ended up having this bake sale for Devlin, right? It was all over Facebook. It was all over the Help Find Devlin Tate page, right? So just want to point that out. It was at the fairground. These are some pictures of the event, right? So we're here, come on out to the fairgrounds, is what Sabrina says, right? That's what Sabrina's on May 18th. So they had the plants over here. They also had some plants over here. Devlin's hidden down over here. And then they hid all of his face on the shirts. And I'm never going to be okay with that. So I know that it bothers some people that I have an opinion and that I'm willing to stand up for things. But they're just going to have to deal with it. That's just too bad, isn't it? So, and this is, very strange to me, right? Right here is very odd. It's very, very odd. So why are all of these shirts folded so you can't even see Devlin? How are people supposed to know what Devlin looks like? How are people supposed to know what the event is? Right? Did they put signs out by the road pointing toward the event? Did they take out an ad in the Penny Saver? I don't know if they still have Penny Saver, but I don't know. It's odd to say the least. So then you don't have Devlin anywhere except for right here in black and white. And then they were complaining about that. We're going to talk more about that later. All right. But everything else is just basically, it looks like they, put everything in. They brought tables and things like that. And then, Mary has a store. So she probably brought in some stuff from the store. Dead plants for sale. Get your dead plants here, folks. And then we have one live plant, but that is not part of the auction, right? Not part of the auction. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking in, right? Auction items, right? but we're not really seeing Devlin's face, right? They could have arranged those a little bit differently, I think. And then put one of those, because if you scoot all those over, you could fit those signs right up there. You could see, Devlin's face, because that's who it's about, not about them or their, much forgotten treasures. It's about Devlin. All right. And so then there was some items that were um, made, right? And items that people could bid on for the silent auction. Now we're going to talk more about that later on tonight. But the fact of the matter is that there was even contention when it came to these auction items, because somebody said that Tammy took a painting or something like that. I mean, there's a lot to this, guys. And this is something that I have nothing to do with, right? At all, except for I was pulled into it and blamed for it later on, as if I'm the only one that has a problem with any of this. Anybody with two eyeballs can see this, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see it, right? And then Sandy Davis been on One Eyed Willie and she won it. She won, One Eyed Willie. And here's Kay Nicole, right? Because that's her other alt. She's got lots of alts, right? So we got Crabman. He's scared to death. I'm scared. We're scared, right? A beautiful event, right? Got our sign and goodies, right? So everybody was paying for these things. It's got a mustache, Andrea. It's got eyebrows and a mustache on it. It's a voodoo skull. It scares the crap out of me. I'm sorry. The minute that I saw that, I was stopped dead in my tracks, Um, I love The Grinch. The Christmas movie is so good. Oh yeah. Wow, blows my mind. Thank you, Lady Freedom, for being a warrior, being a voice for the rest of us here in your community. We are here because we all want to call these injustices out, hold accountable. Thank you, women's warriors. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, why am I even talking about this? But I mean, I don't have a choice because they keep bringing it up in every single interview that I'm wanting to review. And so it's, I have to say, it's the Santa Muerte. Chuchi. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So, Sasha, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but they're Grinch plans. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I know. Thank you for the blue hearts, Bo. And I did take offense to this. You guys will hear me in it in the text messages. We'll read them later, but they had a whole bunch of bread and stuff out like that. Um, so this is really interesting here. So the bake sale was May 18th, right? And then Sabrina posts this on May 20th. She says donations will go to a higher reward for information. Ways to donate are PayPal, Cash App, PFCU, and Devlin Tate donation account, right? Or maybe that's the same. I think that's all the same info. Yeah, that's the bullet point there. So right, so there's a couple ways to donate, and that's gonna be another point of contention later. I just wanna point that out, guys, so you know, the little key points that we're gonna talk about tonight, because it's a lot, right? So, yeah, I mean, they did try their best, and yeah, and that's what's the messed up part. That's their best, they probably know. Well, and it's crazy because, you know, they say that they don't believe that Devlin was abused, and I don't know whether to feel sorry for them or just figure they're ignorant, right? And that's not being rude. I'm just saying they don't know, they don't understand, they have no idea what they're doing. I just don't believe that part. um or they've been so abused that they normalized it. Right? We're skull shaming Andrea. We can't be skull shaming. We have to be very oh, I'm over it. Like I really am. Like all the crap that they pulled, you guys are going to be amazed. It's crazy. But yeah, this is another one with Sabrina. So 2 days later, right? Now Devlin's been missing 8 months, just so you guys know, but at 7 months we went over this. Now this is Mary Much's business. She has a business out in Lake Odessa, right? And she does the much forgotten treasures where she takes things and, turns them into little like wind chimes and stuff. So here's Tamara. They've known each other for 9 years, and we're going to get more into that tomorrow about Mary. But Mary told me something completely different than she told Jessica, the two Jessicas, right? And then Shelby on the panel. So great sales, great people. Thank you bunches. That was 9 years ago, right? So I mean, did they think that we weren't going to stumble upon this information? It's public, right? It's all public information. But we did. We stumble upon it and it gets sent to me, and I'm overwhelmed with the information that I have. And then sometimes I have to go back and ask somebody, didn't you send me this? And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, could you resend it to me again? Because I get so much information from everyone, right? Um, so now this is the other sheet, and I don't know if she rewrote it or if that's the same sheet, but this is, what they're sharing out for Devlin, right? Just so you guys all know that, right? We couldn't spring for the color copies. That's weird to me. We didn't have any color on Devlin at all, right? Don't try to tell me Sabrina didn't make way more than she is claiming. And that is very apparent. We're going to talk more about that. I know that there's a lot of community members that agree with me. So did Mary Much with her cracked out creations? Did you donate money or art to sell, Miss Mary? Right? Which one was it? Right? Because it's not going both ways. And the fact of you guys doing so much dirt with this reward money makes me think that you're doing something wrong with it too. And I'm not the only one that feels that way. Again, I want to read this from Brittany Smith. Praying for answers of where Devlin is. This is not like him to all of a sudden just disappear. He always on the phone calling someone. Oh, my bad. He's always on the phone calling someone or approaching people to make conversations. He's not one to just be gone away from his family for long. He may be mad at them at times for things, but he still always reaches out and makes sure he's okay, right? So she's also talking about herself there, right? He would reach out to her. He was friends with her. So also she says someone has got to know something about him and where he is. If you do, please come forward. Stop dragging it out. Longer you wait it out, the more punishment it will be. You're also hurting his family and everyone who loves him. We are all worried sick about where he is and what happened. So please, if you don't, or excuse me, so please, if you know anything, please reach out to someone and I'll tell someone what happened. Praying for everyone involved and for Devlin's return home. So I think that's very interesting. And that's the girl that he was supposed to stay with in October of 2024, right? We saw those text messages, right? So he sent some abuse over to Jessica. All right. I'm at Brandy's. Everybody is sleeping and I'm going to bed now. So good night. Good night. I love you. Charge your phone, says Jessica to Devlin. Devlin says, I want you to listen to that song I sent you by Pink, or excuse me. She says, I want you to listen to that song I sent you by Pink. I can't, I don't have any service, he tells her. So Tuesday, September 10th, there's something going on with my phone. I can't get it to stay on. I'll be taking it to Boost first thing in the morning. Are you all right? All right. So just conversational. And they did talk like this to the best of my knowledge, whenever Jessica was still calling him her firstborn son, right? It changed later in her phone. She put Devlin, my pain in the something son, right? Let's just say I'm about to kill myself, Devlin says. What's going on here? Or what's going on? Where are you? What happened, Devlin? Sandra's being a bitch, not going to talk about it. Let's just say I got told I'm not allowed to tell her I love her anymore. Right? Let's just say I got told I'm not allowed to tell her I love her anymore. What the fuck, she says, and that's Jessica's go-to every time, WTF. Um, you can talk to me about anything, love. I hope you know that, right? But you're not going to do anything about it is the problem. So he could talk, but it's not going to make a difference. Um, I want you to listen to that song I sent you earlier when you get a chance. So then Wednesday, September 11th, they talk again. I tried calling you back and I was getting your brother's medical supplies when you called. So he tried to reach out to her and then now she's calling him back. Now, again, we have this post, right? April 1st. I love you guys. I truly do, but I can't do this anymore. I can't keep putting up with my sister Tammy. This post was deleted off of Facebook last week. Deleted off of his Facebook, right? And then I want to also point back to this because we talked about this earlier and how it affects the timeline. So April 21st, Sabrina, before midnight, posts, please, please, please pray and be on the lookout for Devlin Lee Hatfield Tate. He's missing and we are very worried, right? And then she writes this a minute ago before she posted this. She says, has anyone seen my nephew? No one has heard from him in over 13 hours, and we have called hospitals and police stations. Please contact me if you have anywhere. I guess she was going to say whereabouts. Right? So we got to wake up over there, right? Because we're not blind, right? Or is it just batshit craziness, right? Because that's what it seems like to me. It's cuckoo bird, right? We still have a bolo for the chair. We still have a bolo for the chair. I've heard different information stating that the chair was gone before Devlin went missing, but I also heard that the chair was still there when so I've heard both. I haven't been able to confirm or deny any of it. So there's still a reward for the chair and information leading to it, right? So that was the 7-month mark I did that video. Now here we are at the 8-month mark, and people keep talking about this other nonsense, right? With this reward. So here we're gonna go into this next video. Let me go ahead, stop screen and share this. And this is a new one I dropped tonight. It finally dropped, thank God. It took forever to drop it. It's taking too long. All right, so. All right, I'm going to have you guys enjoy the intro, and I'm going to go grab my drink. A cold pop. Hold on a second. There we go. Boom. All righty, so that's Christmas Lady Freedom last year. Since I didn't dress up for you guys tonight, there's my ugly kitty sweater. I found it for you guys. Okay, so, but tomorrow I have some cool sweaters to share. All right, here we go, guys. Is this on? No, we don't have that on. All right.
On the Devlin Tate case, I'm speaking with Lori Hanson. He was known to frequent here, and she knows the family, so we're here interviewing her and trying to find out about Devlin and the family. Who they feel safe with is who they cling to, So that's why I think he would go and visit Joni, because he felt safe with her. That was a safe space for her.
I figured he would have come back here.
Yeah, because this is a safe space for him as well. Yeah.
But I think I kind of hurt his feelings because he wanted to move in.
That's what you said. So tell me a little bit about that.
The last time I seen him was that Sunday. He was at Bob's.
Okay.
Bob's Barn, and what they did is they let him sing.
Oh, so that was Sunday, Easter Sunday?
Yep.
On Easter Sunday, he's
Yep.
staying at Bob's Barn. Okay.
But he had a problem with his phone, and he was really not happy that day.
Yeah.
And he ate and that stuff and was goofing around with the guys because, the guys always, cared for him. They let him do what he wanted to do, even though he was autistic. And, we let him sing. Who cares?
Right.
And he was excited because me and Ralph were going to hire him to do jobs for us. And we told him that we'd give him $15 an hour and that stuff. And then all of a sudden, he, disappeared. And he told me he ate dinner with a couple, and I do not remember their names.
On Easter Sunday,
it wasn't his family.
It wasn't his family.
It had to be some friends or something.
Okay, because I feel like Sabrina said that they were together for Easter Sunday. Maybe not. I could be wrong. I'd have to.
And I don't know. I asked Ralph. I said, "Where'd Devin go?" And he says, "We must have left." And
that was about what time?
6:30.
6:30 p.m.
Well,
on Easter.
6:30 because he had curfew at 7.
Okay.
He was on probation.
Okay.
For domestic violence. His grandma,
the DV.
mother, grandma, whatever you want to call it. So but then Monday, I didn't think anything of it. But there's been times that Tammy, because there for a while, like my neighbor, he says, "Hey, Devin is facing the road." And I'm like, I don't know why, but I caught him sleeping in my barn.
Yeah, could you tell me about that? I remember you saying that, and
it was like 3 or 4 days after my husband died. So he died October 1st of last year. And it was like 2 or 3 days later, he come knocking on my door, and he said, "I'm sorry about Jack," because he knew Jack too. And "I'm so sorry." And he just kind of talked. And then all of a sudden, he kind of mentioned about moving in. And I told him, "Devin, I'm not at that place. I'm sorry, you can't." I said, "You have to go where you're supposed to go because you're on probation there." And then he just kept around here for a few days because around next door called me and told me, "Hey, the kid's around." But then when I went and did chores like 3 or 4 days later, he was sleeping in my barn. And I got him up and I told him, "Hey, dude, you can't be sleeping in my barn like this." And he just got up and left. Sabrina caused some problems. I don't know if you met Mary much.
No, I have not met Mary yet. I've heard her name, and let me write that down because I keep hearing that name. Mary
Much.
MUTCH. Who is she in relation to this?
She's the one that did the benefits and had the money.
Okay, who has the money now? Do you know? That was another one of my questions.
I don't know. Mary was
Okay, Mary's the one who did the benefits and raised the money.
She is a very, very good person.
Okay.
And she just has health problems and she couldn't take it anymore. So I know she posted a while ago that she wanted anybody to be able to pull it, or a church or a bank come forward, but I haven't heard if she still got it. But I know Sabrina still owes her money.
Okay. So she hasn't paid back all the money like she says.
She paid supposedly the money, but she still. I think what happened was Mary and Jack put the rest of the money in. It was like $650 short. So I think Jack and Mary put it in for Sabrina, and Sabrina was supposed to pay, and she never did.
Oh, okay. Because Sabrina said she put in the first $500, and then she sold T-shirts and raised money, and had the money that was left over from the T-shirts go into that, and that's why she felt it was okay at the time to borrow the money from it to fix her truck, because she felt like it was the only means of transportation she had to be able to reach out and do flyers or anything, or search for Devin, is what she told me.
The only way you could get a hold of Mary is to through Facebook.
Through Facebook,
because she's
sorry about the faces. Sorry. Okay. I will work on that.
She lives on Thornapple Lake, but in the wintertime she goes to Louisiana.
Okay.
So right now they're in Louisiana.
Oh, do you know what part of Louisiana? Because I'm going.
Yes, she is.
If she's still there, I might be able to get an interview in person.
I'm not sure.
Maybe if you can find out, Jeff, I can see if I can.
Well, like she said, we can get a hold of her on the Book of Faces. That's really the only way to get a hold of her. So that's that Mary Much, MUTCH. Okay.
And she might be able to give you a little bit more information.
No problem, honey. I think we're going to get ready to wrap up here soon anyway today.
Okay, so Andrea, no, there is no proof whatsoever. And they have taken down the Facebook Live where they even talked about the money. Right. And now they're just they're just crashing other people's Facebook Lives to try to get the story out there. Right. So, oh, here, we'll have you talk to Mary about the reward money. It's very strange. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Because you would think, especially if they're not going to, put any proof up, then they would just be quiet about it, but they keep talking about it. It's very strange.
Okay, Nicole says me and Mary talk daily. So Kay Nicole commented in my book of faces and said, Kay Nicole, so if you talk to her daily, can you maybe have her get a hold of me, and then I'll forward her information to Shelby, and Shelby will be in Louisiana here. When, Shelby? No, the day after Christmas. And maybe we could facilitate a interview. She'll be there for 3 days. Okay. Okay. I'd like to know if she's still holding the money. I'm hoping she is. Hoping she is. Hoping.
Yeah, because if not, I'm not even going to say what I think, but yeah, if not,
she's okay. So Kay Nicole, her name on the TT is, she's Voices on TT, and she's the one who speaks with her every day. So she's Voices on TT. Oh, okay. And Lori's asking her right now as well.
She's a very, very good person.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So they keep on saying Mary's a very, very good person. Mary's a very, very good person. It's almost like they've been conditioned and trained to say it over and over. Now, I just want to rewind back a little bit. And this is what, no, actually, the crisis actor, because she's not a very good troll. She's a very transparent troll. But give me a second, because I think crisis actress is the best one for this one. But Kay Nicole had posted on her TikTok, and she's saying how 8 months of spacing out randomly throughout my day because this case is breaking my heart. Right? I don't know anybody who does that as a creator. It is not about me. This is not the, Lady Freedom show, right? It's not about me. It's about the missing kids that we talk about. It's about other people's stories, their stories, their cases that we talk about here. So for her to do all this is beyond me, and it's really crazy. It's attention grabbing and it's exploitative to Devlin, in my opinion, right? Feel sorry for me because I'm missing Devlin. What about his family? Maybe you feel sorry for his family. But no, she's too busy trolling the internet, lying about shit that she posted. It's very bizarro. Very bizarro.
It's just, I think she was starting to be stopped, and it just got to her. She couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I don't blame her. Yeah. When you're dealing with monies in situations like this and
stuff, just like she mentioned, she hates to say this, but it's been 8 months, so she thinks, why give somebody, the family, the money and that stuff when we don't know if he's alive, and if he's not, at least she has money to get him buried and rest in peace.
Yeah, good thinking. Yeah.
And that's what she was going with, and I agree 100% with her.
All right, guys. So that's where that came from. The family, in my opinion, we're not talking about a funeral. I've never seen any of them do that. I've not seen Sabrina do it. I've not seen Tamara do it. I've not seen Matt do it. I've not seen Lorraine do it, or Sandra, or any of them. So send me the proof if you have that, right? Because I'd like to see that. They have never done that. Mary Much is the one that was talking about it, right? And so was Casper, aka Kay Nicole, aka Voices Behind the Voiceless, or whatever the hell it's called, right?
Okay, Voices for the Voiceless. So that's right. Kay Nicole does Voices for the Voiceless. She brought Devlin to Heather, and then Heather started covering it.
Right. So, and Piper has explained this before. So she knows Heather Marie, who is posting about Devlin and putting up the final timeline, right? In air quotes, I have it in air quotes because it's not the final timeline. Again, I checked with Matt today on that to verify through my notes. And then I also asked some sources that I have. And that has never been said by Matt, that he texted Sabrina or tried to call Devlin or contact Devlin. What happened was when Devlin went to Lako Laundry allegedly to charge his phone that morning, that's when he tried to call Sandra. And when he couldn't get a hold of Sandra because she was in the bathroom, Matt had talked to him for about 30 minutes. And that's what Matt has said in the chat, right? Yeah. Especially tragedy pimping. It should be, Sam. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life, right? And then people send these over to me, and I'm like, what is she doing? Right? And that's why I wanted nothing to do with these people, because this is how they act. Selling keychains to pocket the money for a missing kid, exploiting a missing kid, gaining sympathy for yourself when a child is missing. You're not missing. I'll tell her the same thing I said to Julie Skolnick. You're not missing. You're just fine. Your kids aren't missing, thank God. They're just fine. Your family's not missing, thank God. They're just fine. Right? So in this case, if it is personal, I get it. But to do those kinds of things is purely exploitative and for attention, in my opinion. I don't work with people that do that. Um, Women's Warrior says, lady, she lives in the area, right? So they should be boots on the ground if they are heartbroken and walk the routes. Yeah, speak to every establishment, every employee, open up an anonymous contact. Yeah, I mean, they could do a lot. They could do a lot. And I will say that Piper has done a lot of that, like actually talking to people face to face, because she can, drive over to their house or whatever. Um, so, she knows what it takes to find the kids or the people, because she had a loved one who went missing and they found him, right? It was her brother. So I think she kind of knows a little bit more about kind of how to handle things. Um, Heather Marie seems to have a good grasp on getting information in a timeline fashion. But it's nothing we haven't done over here since the very beginning. Trying to track down the timeline was very difficult. But we had Laura Cobb in our chat also, aka Panda Bear's mom, and Town Chat Cafe, who were absolutely hindering the investigation, giving out false information, telling people to look at Tia Randall's family, telling us that Jessica didn't want to talk to anyone, just, because they wanted to be the center of attention. Again, I don't deal with that. Both of their wrenches were taken and they haven't been seen since, right? It's no secret. I'm not afraid to say what happened or the truth, because I know that I had nothing to do with any of their actions. That was all their weirdness, right? And then when someone says, "Oh yeah, I want you to promote my keychains for Devlin on your channel so I could get money off of it," that's a hard no, right? And that's what Laura Corn on the Cob, aka Panda Bear's mom, wanted me to do. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later because it's in the text with our tragedy pimp. Cece says, oh no, if there's a funeral to pay for, there will definitely be another GoFundMe for that. Well, I would think so. I would think this community would come together for that for sure, Cece. And that's why I don't understand why they're misering this money. But again, it's dirty. And like, that's why I don't want nothing to do with it, because it's already done of bad deeds, right? And I know maybe that's a weird way of thinking of it, but I just don't want nothing to do with it. And I told Jessica that. And I told her after I talked with Mary and she was, not being truthful with me. I just told her, I said, you're never going to see that money for a private investigator. No one is ever going to see that money. And that's just the way it has to, it's going to be. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? And I can't change that. But what we can do is set up you GoFundMe or do this, giving her other ideas and resources. But Jessica, as you guys will see, I believe she's got some dependency issues, right? She originally told me that she was, self-conscious of her appearance, but that's all of us. I mean, anybody that gets up here is going to be that. So I didn't push her, especially because she has a missing son. But she decided to go full bore the other day and, vaping on the camera and doing all this stuff that she wasn't supposed to be doing. They asked her not to do it on camera. She did it anyway. Just it's nothing personal again against me. I know that. It's just her personality. That's all. Um, Little Miss Sharon says, "Oh no, just saying it is definitely missing something." Well, and I mean, I know, and it's in my opinion, thanks, Little Miss Sharon. Yeah, I mean, it's weird, right? Um, so she's missing a lot of some things in my opinion. Well, that's what I said too, Kiki, when it come to Sabrina, like, "Oh, Sabrina caused some trouble." It was like, well, she caused a little more than a little bit of trouble. She causes a lot of trouble on a lot of different things. She caused herself a lot of issues, right? Just being herself, right? Because who writes that um on their Facebook when they're under so much scrutiny? "Oh, I'm just living my best life." I don't know. Hey, Poppy Love, good to see you. Thank you for being here. So, um, and then also, guys, I don't know that, like I said, I believe what Lori's saying. I don't think she's a very good witness. Some of the things that she's saying is probably true, but other things, like, I don't believe that she was going to give Devlin a job. I don't. I think that's just something that she's saying um, to make herself look better, right? Um, so. Julie Skolnick probably has some blocked by yesterday. She's been looking it up what other creators make off their YouTube channels. Oh my gosh. Nuh-uh. CC, why would now why? Why do they care? That I mean, if you were to worry more about yourself, you'd make more money than anybody, right? If you would be pushing content out and working. I guess they were making money off the merch. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. And in Devlin's case, they absolutely were. She absolutely did get extra donations. It's just like anything, like if somebody said, "Hey, I got a t-shirt for you, or for my missing, nephew," I would say, "Okay, here's $20," right? If they said, "Oh, it's $15," I'd say, "Here's 20." Right? So a lot of people are going to do that. And a lot of people are more rich than I am, right? Because I'm not rich at all, but I just, I give money to certain causes like that I believe in. And I would have given him a $20 bill. I just know it because that's what she said. The shirts were about 15, I believe. So, um, yes, we have a lot of wrenches. We have a lot of wrenches. I need to get Kiki a wrench. I keep forgetting to get Kiki a wrench. Um, That's so crazy, exposing their income. But how do you know though? See, Holly, mine are not right because White Boy tried to do that with mine and he's like, "Oh, I haven't affected her channel or anything. I looked her up on some website." And I was like, "That's incorrect." So, but those hate channels, they never get it right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, another thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was when Devlin wanted to move in with her, she said she wasn't ready for that. And I don't understand what if she was insinuating that Devlin was trying to be her boyfriend, because I don't believe that because of the girls that he was actually going after were young and, they were his type or whatever, more his. Like, he wasn't going after older ladies. If he wanted to do that, he could join a dating website, I'm sure, or, find a lot of ladies at Bob's. That's another thing that kind of bothers me is Bob's, guys. We're going to get into that a little bit more too, because, Devlin seemed to have been comfortable there and all of that, but all of these people knew him from Bob's too. Like, Mary never told me that she hung out at Bob's with Devlin, but she hung out at Bob's, so I'm sure Devlin was there whenever she was there at some point. It's just very odd. And then she tells Jessica more about how she, you know, either way, we'll get into it tomorrow when we get into that interview. But um, Women's Warrior says, Lady, I can't get my head around financially gaining from tragedy. I want to set up a help fund, uh, or a help find me. It could be a place people donate their time, expertise, or raise funds in each area or something. Well, Women's Warrior, you're trying to make a difference in the world. These people are trying to make a difference in their pocketbook. It's a vast difference. And do I think that Mary is somebody that needs this money? No, I think she likes to have the control. For her, it's different. Um, she doesn't want to put it to use to help, and she's very adamant about that, but she doesn't want to say that, right? And she wants everybody to think she's a good person, but good people don't act this way. See? And that's the trouble I'm having. So I think there are a lot of people who want to create channels as their work, so they'll do just about anything. Just JS is being one of them. Yeah, in my opinion, I get what you're saying, KJ Mac. I mean, and the thing about Julie is she could be very successful with what she's doing, but she chooses not to. She chooses to do the hateful stuff all the time. I mean, all the time. And I mean, going real life, all of that. She wants to make people feel as bad as she does about herself. And that's a lot of what we're seeing here with these people too. Um, if she's demanding a forensic audit of Seth, oh Lord, she is. Well, I'll demand that if you guys can help Seth out, send him a cash app, right? Let's just pop that puppy right there in the chat. She could kiss my big toe. That is craziness. She is bored as hell, isn't she? Justice, that's what I'm talking about. Witchy, I love that so much. You say that a lot. She says, to insult me, I must first value your opinion. If the only thing they can think of in a missing child's case is another creator's earnings, I definitely don't value their opinion. Well, and that's the thing, too. I think that's what hurt Devlin the most about his family. And that's why he voiced those concerns on the internet more than the people that were just bugging him at, random people or people he knew from school or whatever. It hurts more when it's somebody that you value their opinion or that's supposed to care for you. Mary is just some lady from the town that knows Sabrina because Sabrina used to work for her. She's known Devlin since he was 7, she said. And she told me, oh, I just know Devlin from coming to my garage sales. She's so full of shit. She is a lying sack of shit, and she knows it. And the saddest thing is that there's people out there that believe her, you know? So I know she's always saying that. She's always like, oh, they use the Sopranos house and all this. I'm like, so what? That's dumb. Sopranos used to be popular. It's not really anymore. I don't know any people. I mean, yeah, I guess if it was on, I'd watch it, but I mean, I done seen The Sopranos over and over and over and over again. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and go back here.
Thank you, Kay. So.
You guys want a rundown on where Mary is with the whole reward thing?
Yeah, if she's in here, that would be great. Or if you would talk to her.
Yeah.
No, she's gonna talk for her.
So, after she had heard, just a lot of back and forth opinions, and it led to the live that we had held, she had decided that we got in contact with Detective Casol, and she had decided to add 3 trusted non-family community members that she trusted with her. Those 4 are overseeing basically the account if they're going through the process that they need to go through, and nobody can take from it.
Good.
Anybody can put in it. So any fundraising that me and Mary have plans, like the pancake breakfast, etc., just goes to raising that $6K higher. And some places around here could not afford color flyers. So I know that was a huge debate, and that was kind of what was constantly the issue, was that we didn't have the affordability to get a lot of color flyers.
Okay.
And nobody wanted that 6K touch. We put it to a poll. Everything, the community voted in vast majority that they did not want to touch that 6K. They wanted it left alone and in Mary's hands.
Good. Much better off. Yeah. So.
I've been kicking people off the Apollo stage for what, 31 years? If you're not good enough, you get booed off the stage, the audience love it. All together now. Boo! Welcome to the Apollo Amateur Night. Amateur Night at the Apollo is the granddaddy to all of these shows that you look at today. You do your magic, and the audience will decide whether you go on to the next level or whether you get booed off of the stage. And we can push it right. It's go time.
All right, guys. So you guys know I'm a researcher, right? So of course, I was going back looking for pictures and different things from Night at the Apollo because, um, it was just a great variety show. And, a lot of the shows are based on that. We were talking about that the other night. So I said, don't be mad, Kay, Nicole, Casper, whoever you are. Lauren Hill got booed off of at the Apollo too, right? So when Lauren Hill was 13 years old, she got up there and sang at the Apollo, and they booed her off stage. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's got one of the most beautiful voices. But I thought that was an interesting little tidbit to add to our video. So nothing personal. I just know you were trying to smear me. So let's get the truth out, shall we? So we're about to get the truth out, guys. And again, if you want to watch this without my commentary or just go back and read through these, it's um really important information that we're going to go over just pertaining to Devlin's case and how it's been handled. So, June 24th, they're talking about the reward and everything, right? Now, don't forget, May 18th, 2025 was when they had the silent auction bake sale. And then 2 days later, Sabrina's still posting her Cash App and, always to donate. So then fast forward to June 24th of 2025, an anonymous member says, when Sabrina was with her ex Joe Cook, she babysat me and my siblings. Even though I was very young, her and Tamara seemed very, very sketchy. Sabrina said she's trying to get a loan on the main Devlin page, but in the Vermontville page, she said she had one already. There is proof of that. She took more than she said she did with Mary Much. This is so tiring. Us as a community need to take action into our own hands and help find Devlin, or help find this boy, excuse me. He was a classmate of mine. We need to expose Sabrina and Tamara of their lies. Also, I submitted a report to the FBI. If we can get enough tips and reports, it will get us somewhere. Devlin needs justice. So this is a really heartbreaking post that we see here from the Devlin Tate page, right? Hey Jackie. And I just feel so bad. Holly, it's the best, right? I mean, oh my gosh, I just used to watch stuff like that late night. So a lot to unpack here. So she remembers Sabrina babysitting for her. She says that there was some sketchy behavior. I wish we would had more details there. If this anonymous member would like to reach out to me, all you have to do is go to my page and click on the link and you can email me. So if you have information on how they were sketchy or what happened, during that time, I would love to know about it because I think it can factor in at in some capacity, excuse me. So, One thing I want to pay attention to, just pertaining to this video, uh, there is proof that she took more than she said she did with Mary Much, right? And I believe that. I believe she made more, and I believe she took more, right, than she's saying. So let's read what the community has to say. Now, again, a brief disclaimer, I've never, um, donated to any of this, right? I did not participate in the voting because I'm not a community member, and I thought that that was up to them, and I think that they were hurt by it, not me, right? Um, it's very hurtful what Sabrina did, and I don't think that she understands that. And I think that she just thinks everybody should forgive her and forget about it. And Holly, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Holly. Thank you so much. Um, CA, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, yeah. Melody was, yeah, has been found. Oh my gosh, and she's just such a cutie pie. Oh my gosh. Very, very sad situation. I hope they arrest her mother soon and whoever hurt her. Um, so yeah, so this person is clearly upset. The community is clearly um, hurt by this. And I think that from an outsider looking in, even if I would have donated originally, like say I saw it on Facebook and it caught my eye and I had extra money and I just, gave that, I still wouldn't feel like I was entitled to vote about it because it is the community. Thanks, Fave Auntie. She says they already arrested Ashley. Good. Good. Yeah, I haven't caught up with that, and I know her mom was acting really strange. It is sad that could even happen. Um, so this one says, this is another post. So I just received a message that 2,700 is what Sabrina spent. That is only money that could be accounted for if you gave her cash. Then I'm sure that is gone as well. In this message, excuse me, guys. Thank you, Shadow. Yeah, I need to get caught up on that one. I agree, Fave Auntie. It is so disgusting and uncalled for. Ugh, that little baby, she's so cute. Um, so but with this situation, um, just like we were saying earlier, there was multiple ways you could donate, and so people are going to add that together too, right? And like, guys, I'm not the best at math. You guys know that, right, about me. Some people don't, because if you're new. So I mean, like, I always give guesstimates, I don't actually try to calculate anything, because it'll probably be wrong. But I will say, when I look at this and I'm like, well, if there was $2,700 that was taken, and this has been the story, so I don't know that it's changed or if it's just a regurgitated, recycled story over and over. Just stick to the story, right? Um, so either way, the question is what about other monies that came into the account? In this message is a screenshot of her admitting she spent 2,700, but if you handed Sabrina cash, that is gone, I am sure, and never was accounted for by Mary Much, and had no idea until she asked Sabrina and she told her. In fact, Mary and her hubby had to put $670 of their own money to get the reward, even back to 4,000 from the bank. Uh, excuse me, bake sale is, I think, what she meant to say. She is absolutely pathetic, right? So again, now it's 4,000, right? And we're going to see people noticing these things to, as well. But this is what transpired, guys. I cannot change what y'all did over there, right? I'm just reporting on this. If this pisses you off, I am sorry, but I'm going to report the truth. No matter if it makes you like me or hate me or anything like that. I hope it makes you like me. I hope it makes you respect me because it's not always easy to do that. And I catch a lot of shit for it. But I'm always going to do that because it's important to me. It's important to Devlin's integrity of and his dignity of his story. And he's not here to tell it. Poor Devlin. I hope he's watching somewhere. Either way, it says that there was 4,000 originally. I've heard all kinds of different numbers myself, but the 670 was for the deck fund, right? And that was Mary and Jack's money that they put into it to make it even and square so everybody would leave Sabrina alone, which I don't think was fair. But, that was what they wanted to do, right? So I can't change that. And I'm not here to tell other people what to do. So Shira Michelle Bishop says that an FYI, this has been turned over. Right? So these people are pissed off, yo. It's not even me. I'm like, I'm not as near as pissed. I think it's a joke, right? I can sit back as an outsider and just say, wow, this is a real joke, that they're doing this and pulling this shit in this case, right? And I can make my funny night at the Palo video, right? But it's like, it doesn't change what's going on here, right? It doesn't change that we have a terrible situation going on here. Just terrible. So, Sarah Michelle Bishop continues. This has been turned over to local police and sent to the prosecutor. Marion Much went to the police station with all the info. All right. So I think she was really excited, and she must have been, Mary, Marion, and tongue twister. So John over here, he thinks that or he's asking how can we trust her when she told Sabrina to use the money, right? And I agree with John 100%. For one, Mary has not been honest with me at all. Mary has been dishonest and a real asshole to me from the very beginning. And I was calling on behalf of Jessica because she was so upset that Mary went down to Mississippi with money and she doesn't know what the hell's going on. Right? So I was like, well, I'll reach out to Mary and just find out from her. Right? If she has the money, then what's the big deal? Well, Mary didn't like that very much. And instead of telling me to piss off the first time, she sat there and lied to me. She could have just told me to piss off. I would have accepted that better. That would have been better for me if she would have just said piss off. And I would have went on my merry little way. Right? So anonymous member says first it was 800, then it was 2000, and now it's 2700. Nobody should have this reward money in any account, personal account, in their name only. Also, whoever this Mary person is should not be in her name either. It should have been set up at the bank for people to go there to donate towards rewards, or uh, um, I always couldn't figure out why was this reward money not with the sheriff's office or a silent observer. No wonder she is making excuses about hiring a private investigator and didn't want to use the money for one or afraid what they will find out. Wow, that's a loaded statement right there. This is a very loaded statement. And the problem is that we just heard from Kay Nicole and she just lied her ass off and she wants to call me a liar. But guys, this is something that was sent to me months ago. Right? I just didn't get around to compiling every single freaking thing from Facebook. right? That people have sent me, and I love having it. Hey, bot. I love having the information, but I read it when it comes in, and then it's like I have it, in a file with all the other crap pertaining to that situation, right? So when we do a deep dive on a particular subject, like they've pushed me to do, because I wasn't going to do this. I was about to just say, fuck it. Fuck it. Why? Why should I waste my time with their shit? But there's got to be more to it. And the people are pissed off and they don't want Mary to have the money. But we just heard from Voices and Kay Nicole and Casper, the friendly ghost, right? That everybody wants the money with Mary. No, they don't. It's because your poll was rigged. And the only people that voted on it was people that you told to go vote on it, I'm sure. We all know how it works. It's rigged as fuck. And anybody that can't see that has a biased opinion. In my opinion, you can do the math like these people are doing. You just do the math. Right. So, whoever this Mary person is should not it shouldn't be in her name either, right? It should be in a trust. Now we're going to hear from some more community members because I want to hear from the community. I don't want to hear from someone who's trying to push their own shit. It's very obvious that this lady is doing this. Her and Mary are in cahoots and they're trying to make themselves look like saints when they're not. They have to be doing something bad if they're doing all of this dirt like they are. Right? Hiding the lives and everything, promising to put them up, don't put them up. Saying they're going to do a poll about billboards, having polls that don't even mention billboards, have nothing to do with billboards. It's weird, right? Like, get a clue. So, help find Devlin Tate, Sabrina Host, right? We absolutely had nothing to do with Devlin's disappearance, and the truth on that will be proven in time. Oh, and for those saying I do drugs, I don't. I have a job, I do work, and give me a drug test because I can pass as I don't do shit. Right? So she was mad because people were blaming her for doing drugs and stuff, which I don't blame them. What'd you do with all that money, Sabrina? Like, did you go on a shopping spree? Did you pocket it? Were you hiding it out somewhere where nobody could find it? I mean, stuff like that. Because I know there was more money made. It's very plain to see. So this is Sabrina Host, and this is people that is talking back and forth to her. Just like you let me know that you spent the 2,700. Oh, this is Mary. Mary is the one that leaked this out. This is Mary's text message. So just like you let me know, and that's why you don't see Mary, you only see Sabrina, right? Because it's only one-sided with these people. They're never going to show their side of things, what they said. I never have a problem doing that, right? If you don't do dirt, right? And if it's your opinion, you're entitled to have it. But it's dirty as fuck to start deleting shit and then lying about it. So Mary's saying, I trusted you. And then Sabrina says, I told you. Yes, maybe after the fact of doing it, but I told you. And that's exactly like Sabrina to talk like that. You trusted me and I trusted you. Guess that is something neither of us can come back from, huh? So again, I knew there was way more. Mary was not admitting, and this is how I knew that Mary was lying to me, is because I had already seen this text message. And Sabrina seems like she's very disappointed and that she values, right, Witchy Mama, the opinion of Mary very much, right? And so she is like, can we come back from this? I guess we can't come back from this, huh? Oh, shucks. And you could tell she does care. Right? So she says, yes, but while I was defending you, you never defended me. Again, you ruined my name. So everybody wants to tell everybody that Mary's such a great person, but she's not. She just cares about her name, right? And she's never giving that money up. She never looked for anybody else to take it. That's all a crock of shit. It's up to you to pay it back. We will recover. You have the account number. Do the right thing. So Mary tells her again, do the right thing. Just put the money back, whenever you get it, type of thing. So it's left at that, but then it's shared into all these groups. So June 24th, we're to June 24th now. Brandon Orman says, why isn't the money put into a trust so it's not in anyone's personal account? Boom, shakalaka. Exactly. Sadie Huff says, this infuriates me. I don't have a running driving car, but she steals money from the reward fund that I donated paintings to the fundraiser, and mysteriously Tammy ended up with one she said she absolutely loved, but she and Sabrina talk shit about them looking like crap. Okay. Witchy. I know, I just thought of that when you said that because I was like, that's there you go. That is like, it's not like she stole that money from a stranger. She's disappointed that Mary is upset with her, right? Because she cares what Mary thinks. So, but even here, Sadie Huff is saying like she donated stuff to the fundraiser and, people were talking bad. And I'm sure her paintings were a lot better than that skull that we saw. Oh my Lord, help us. Right? I'd have taken a flower painting any day over that. All right. So someone else says, I wonder how much money is accounted for that was sent to her Cash App. Boom. Sarah says, Jesse, this too, or Venmo, Chime. And then Brandy says, I sent a Cash App from my business for signs. I did receive one, paid for two, but couldn't get out there, and she only had one left. She did drive it to us in Charlotte. It remains outside my store, which is very sweet. Thanks, Brandy. And thank you to whoever bought the signs and the t-shirts. June 24th, again, she is giving them away for free now, according to the post she made in the other group yesterday. Brandy says, I saw that. However, they're also not cheap to have made either. Right. Very suspicious activity, just to say the least. And Devlin Tate informed, hey, Mary Much wanted everyone she no longer had contact with Sabrina or the family, but would like everyone to know what the reward is back up to. Right? So this is a screenshot, right? When the money was only up to $5,780.12. So again, someone's lying. Right? Something's up with the money. And that's June 27th, when supposedly it was supposed to be at 6,000. So, again, it's crazy. And then what is this? Blacked out. Devlin reward what? I don't know. Maybe because they can't say fund or something. I don't know. The skull, Jackie. It's scary. It's scary. I bet you her paintings were prettier than that. I'm like, oh Lord. All right, so there's that, folks. That's June 25th, 2025. All right. Mary Much lied to me about a lot of things, and she's also trying to smear me. Not so fast, Mary. Not so fast. Because we got a lot to get into, ma'am. All right, so help find Devlin Tate. Brandon Orman says, I have a private investigator that is going to take this case. I'm meeting with him Monday. The reward money needs to be put into a trust immediately. This guy's doing the case pro bono. He does one case per year for free. Whoever says all the private investigators they talked to didn't want the case until it was a cold case are full of shit. I know this post probably won't get posted, but I guess we will see, right? Because people on all sides, guys, again, I will always be, forthright with what I think or what, what my findings have been um on things like this. And all sides have pissed off private investigators, in my opinion. All sides need to keep their hands off the reward. It needs to be in a trust, as Brandon's stating here. And then the cold case shit is a crock of shit. Cut the shit. And that's the problem here, is that we have a lot of shit, right? Mary, quite contrary, in my opinion, Jackie, 100%. And then also they have all deleted posts that were pertinent to the case. I don't care who doesn't like to see it. You know what? If you don't want to see it, don't look at it. Why are you looking at it? Right? You don't want to see it, don't go to the page. But it really hinders the investigation, right? So you'll go to a post like this and it'll have 49 comments. But then you go into the comment section and it might have like 5 or 6 comments. They're deleting the majority of what people are saying. That's very concerning. Very concerning. Alrighty. So, who's the PI? Is he or she licensed? Right? Well, I mean, who cares if you're not paying for it? If Brandon's paying for it, that's on him. Okay, so let's all pray knowing that God is with Devlin and will lead him home. Let's everyone make this page positive for Devlin so when he comes home, he sees the support prayers he was receiving from his community and friends. And as my grandmother would say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing. Yeah, and I agree with this person to a certain extent. I really do. I think it's good to say good things, and we do need to be saying supportive things to and about Devlin. Um, but the truth is the truth is the truth. Again, even if somebody doesn't like it, too bad. We need to find this kid. But that was sweet. Oh, here you go, guys. This is our little funky dance. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, guys. All right. So, the last 2 weeks, this is Kay Nicole crying on her Casper account, right? The last 2 weeks, advocate pages have been under attack, and I'm still in the appeals process for this account. Stay tuned for new developments in Devlin Tate's face out and bringing people together, not against one another, right? Um, and then she's talking about being silenced. I have no idea what she's talking about. The only people that have threatened me in this case are the family members. I mean, Bo, it's just the family. The family's been the terrible people. and and then I have these trolls. Now, don't get me wrong, the trolls are in every case. I can't get away from them. I'll just tease them, you know what I mean, in good fun, right? Because this is ridiculous. Come on, dramatic much? And in green hearts, I thought we were doing blue. Come on now, get with the program there, Caspi. All right, so now this this account, Mitten Mama Casper, right? Um, and that has to be a Michigan thing. I don't know about. But anyway, if you guys are local or Michiganders, let me know what the mitten stuff is. I'm guessing because it's cold up there. Um, let me grab a water really quick, guys. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second because I know I'm about to read. All right, guys. So, account not found anymore, right? Because she blocked me at some point. I don't know when she blocked me. I there was no reason to block me. Just don't get alarmed, guys. But she didn't give me a reason to block her either. It's not that bad. It's not that dramatic, even though I'm sure she would love it to be such. Thanks, Sasha. Thank you. Oh, the mitten is the shape of Michigan. Miss Ann. Thank you, Miss Ann. That's fantastic. Girl, I didn't know that. And I kept wondering about it. Obviously, I didn't put enough brain power in and I would have figured it out. So, that's great, Miss Ann. Hashtag Huckleberry, thanks, blessed. Oh, I love picking at the trolls. I'm kind of feeding the trolls a little bit, Cece, but I can't help it. It's funny to me. I mean, this is just so crazy and out of control. But I'm just gonna say that, obviously, I do not hate Kay Nicole. Don't give her any hate, guys. We're just having a little bit of fun with it since we gotta talk about it. Um, oh, okay, Chuchi. I hope you feel better soon, girl. Yeah, no worries. No worries. I'm sorry. Um, So, I mean, and I would be getting sick about this too. Um, it's the Mitten Mama. Mitten Mama Casper CC. She's also, goes by all those other names, right? Kay Nicole and the voices person. So, and I'm sure there's other ones. I think mostly it's Mitten Mama that I've seen her go by. Mostly. So, and you can kind of see it there. So, November 26th at 9:30 a.m., she reaches out to me, right, on TikTok. And I'm not on TikTok a lot, right? I started going on there because I was realizing that people were following Devlin's case there. So, of course, I wanted to um reach out to some people over there, posting videos and stuff in that way. So she says to me, "Hello, if you don't follow my missing persons page, Voices for the Voiceless, I think you'll find where I am at with Devlin's case from my recent video regarding this topic." All right. So I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So it's a Michigander that wants to talk to me about Devlin's case. This is cool. So I read on. She says, if you would like to come to my live this Friday, Mary would not, uh, or excuse me, Mary would like to be there. The skull was not made by Mary, and you just tore it apart. It really hurt the feelings of who did, and Mary also donated $2,000 of her own money as I donated. Okay, so stop right there, right? Again, this is not adding up, y'all. Look, 2K, Mary put in $2,000 of her own money to start out with, or after Sabrina took money out of it, right? And then she's saying she donated too. Well, what did you donate? A buck? Did you donate $5? Did you buy a t-shirt? I know you bought signs and you bought baked goods from the bake sale, right? But, you know, I get that part, but it wasn't a big amount, was it? Because then that's just adding to, the more that we add to that, the more that Sabrina stole from it. In my opinion. I mean, because she was the one putting up the cash apps for them to send the money to her. So that's why it's blowing back on Sabrina. It wouldn't blow back on Sabrina if she wasn't the one doing all that, right? I mean, just saying. Thank you, Blessed. Says no. In my opinion, the math ain't mathin', and see that's it. Um, it's just it doesn't add up, right? It's weird. Um, so she says that we were both hurt and heartbroken when following the situation, the money. Uh, sorry, we were both hurt and heartbroken when the following situation with the taking of the money happened. Okay, so I see what you're saying. She was saying here. So she's just talking about how they were upset, and I do think that that is a valid thing. I think that everybody was upset. That's why when it came to the voting thing and everything, I didn't even try to go over there, because didn't donate and I'm not part of the community. I think that was their thing to decide um on. But either way, I understand it's easy to draw conclusions, but I'm surprised you haven't spoken to any of us who actually searched boots on the ground for Devlin. How am I supposed to know who you people are? Right? I'm not gonna know that. I'm not gonna know that. Um, you reaching out to me lets me know that, right? You could, because otherwise I can't. If I'm just walking around again ignorant or oblivious to a situation, how would I know? I don't just put my, lick my finger and put it in the air and see which way somebody that searched for Devlin, might come through the wind. No, that's not how that works. And to the best of my knowledge, I didn't see Kay Nicole doing anything besides drama on Facebook, to be quite honest. Other people, yes, I did know about James from Backwoods Search and Rescue, um, because Jessica talked about him, and she talked about him on our show right here on the panel, and basically said that James had told her that Devlin wasn't alive anymore, but that's not exactly what was said. When I spoke to James a little while back, he told me that Jessica had asked him so many times over and over, "My son's dead, right? My son's dead, right?" He just one day just wanted to be real with her and said, "Well, I mean, statistically, and yeah, we're looking out there for his body, like we're on recovery to a certain extent, but he wasn't trying to be like, oh, how do I put it? He wasn't trying to be insensitive or mean to her at all. He was just trying to help her understand a little bit better, right? So um that's where we landed with that, and I felt good about it because I can understand, because I've dealt with Jessica, how that works, right? So um she says, I understand it's easy to draw conclusions, but I'm surprised you haven't spoken to any of us who've actually searched boots on the ground. I sure have. Um, I sure have, and I didn't want to get involved because I can see we do things differently, but your video was very mean. Oh, and this is the one that we just watched, guys. So if you were in here for that, about the um bake sale, that's the one she's referring to. And untruthful, and what you said was untruthful. Um, Nothing I said was untruthful. The t-shirts were folded inward where you couldn't see Devlin's face. That's not in my opinion. If you took that to the judge and you said, "Judge, this lady's being mean to me. She's being mean about our bake sale," he would look at you like you're a nut butt. He really would, and he would tell you to get out of the courthouse because you're backing up, you're gumming up the work, sweetheart. You're being ridiculous, right? I didn't say anything that was untruthful. Your flyers were not out. It did not look like a bake sale for Devlin. You had to squint your eyes to see a little black and white flyer on a can that you guys were asking for money, right? That's thank you, witchy mama, mean or honest, right? It's a different, it's not hateful if it's truthful, right? And I was pointing out the obvious that anybody else can clearly see with two eyes. So if the judge looked at that and said, "Oh, well, you can see that the t-shirts are folded in. How is she lying?" Right? But in their little world here that they've created between each other, right? And that's all they're seeing. Oh yeah, you're right, K Nicole. Oh, absolutely, K Nicole. And that's why it was a rigged poll that they did. But either way, let's keep reading because I know I've read these to you guys before, but just to keep it all into context so nobody says I said something I didn't say. Um, you may not have known it, but still tearing down someone's donation just because you thought Mary made it. I just felt compelled to let you know that's not true. Okay, so she's talking about Mary, and I never said Mary made the skull. I said she might have made it, and I think that she donated items that she did make because I saw the one. It's in my background that I put up of the bake sale background, but you can see it. I'll just take this down for a second. Oh, my big face. Um, but yeah, like right in the background of me here is one of Mary's creations, right? So, and I'm sorry, you guys, that one-eyed Willie scares the crap out of me. I'm, I know, I'm sorry. It's scary. It scares me. Um, we'll leave Willie up there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna put my background back up. All right, hold on one second. There we go. All right, so either way, she wanted me to know that. So that's all right. You know, that's fine. If she wanted to tell me, she could tell me. That's fine. I wasn't mad at her. I have been advocating for all of them, including Jessica. I mentioned her GoFundMe in my recent video. I see the family drama and I see where Devlin was failed in many ways. I am keeping my options on the family drama to myself as I truly do not believe any of them on either side did anything to hurt Devlin. That's just my opinion. If you want to join, it will be calm and professional, and I don't do the drama, but you were all wrong about Mary. She's the only one I trust with everything, and she and I have been solely in Devlin's corner, right? So then I was trying to reach her back, right? And I explained this before, but I'll just go over it really quick. So I don't know what's up with this TikTok because I was new to it. So when I tried to, send a message, it took a couple tries, right? And then I told her, "Hey Casper, I shared my conversation with Mary, all of it, and I went over it on my live stream. I appreciate you mentioning the GoFundMe for Jessica. I've been working with all of the family members for a while. I'm very new to TikTok and felt compelled to post here because of the local influence. I don't know who you think I am. I'm just a YouTube creator that doesn't like how things were handled. That's just my opinion. It hurt me to see the skull in Devlin's bake sale. That was also a lot of talk about hiring a PI, and Mary said no. I didn't press her. I left her be about it. We live in America, and I have the right to the freedoms of speech just like you, right? Because Kay Nicole can dish it out, but she can't take it. She's very fragile, right? She just is, and that's fine. It's a personality thing. Um, anyways, it wouldn't let me send it, right? You could see I was like, well, what's your email? We'll email back and forth, right? Because I wasn't opposed to working with her or anything at the time. I even tried to work with her, right? But it wasn't let me reply to her. So I was like, okay, um, let me see if I can't write it in a different way. So you'll see like the black and white text down here. That is what I sent to her ultimately that she read. So she says to me back, I haven't been able to reply back yet, but she says James will be there hopefully too. He has proof of what grounds were searched with sonar and everything. We tore that county and surrounding up looking for Devlin. So I was like, oh, that's good. But I was still trying to let her know that I can't reply to her back. So then I sent her that. And I said, "Hey Casper, I shared my conversation with Mary." Okay, this is all the same shiz that I uh, wrote in the other one. That's right. I think I copied and pasted it, and then I think I added this stuff. Oh, I also wish to respectfully decline coming on your podcast with Mary Much. She has not been straight with me, So I don't have time to deal with her. I need to find Devlin. As I told Tam, I am working hard to find him, and that's not going to change. I would love to talk to you, though. And then I gave her my email, and I let her know again that it would not let me reply on there. And then she texts me back, "Ma'am, you are not going to apologize to the lady who made the skull." And I'm like, "No, because why would I apologize to Kay Nicole if I wanted to apologize to the lady with the skull? I would just go look for her posts on, Facebook and then go tell her, right?" I think it's weird and offensive. His mom didn't like it. I mean, I'm sure she's okay with it now because she's okay with whatever they're doing. She's just going right along with everything. So, and that's fine. That's up to her. But no, no, Hawkeye. We live in America. There's places where we cannot say what we want to say, our opinions in other countries. There's countries that are not free. There's countries that you have to have a picture of the president or the dictator, hanging in your house, or otherwise you get killed. Okay, so that is false, my friend. Okay, so moving right along. She says that Mary didn't make the skull again. She keeps telling me that Mary didn't make the skull, and I'm like, I don't care about the skull. It doesn't matter to me. See that she's trying to push all the attention to an inanimate object that doesn't really mean much because she knows that they have the money and they don't want to cough it up, right? They don't want to use it to do good with it. They want to hold on to it, right? And I have a difference of opinion than they do, and they know that. So you may have your opinions, but you stated Mary made it. You stated Mary didn't donate her own money. You stated search teams would have been out when they were, or should have been out when they were. And yes, I do believe that search teams should have been out, and I think they should have continuously been searching for Devlin. And instead of telling me, like, James with Backward Search and Rescue has been searching for Devlin this whole entire time, that would have made the whole difference in the world. And I would have said, really? That's awesome. But instead, she wants to focus on Mary. She wants to focus on the skull. And she wants to pit me against the search teams, which I have never been against the search teams. I just said we need to get more searchers out there, you know? So she says you took no accountability. Again, I love you working for Devlin. However, you spread false info, and will address everything on messaging. But that, I think it's even I've seen enough. I do hope you're a good day. And I didn't even get a chance to respond, and I told her I couldn't respond, and look at what she's doing. She's gaslighting. It's crazy to me. Like, I love you doing this, right? Well, that's great that you love me doing it. But why, but what's the deal? Like, it's strange, right? Hey, NorCal SoGal, thank you. It's weird though. Like, I'm just like, why wouldn't you email me this? Like, because I was expecting her to start emailing me or something, but she didn't. She just kept on going on over here. And then she says to me, please don't forget to mention the SAR team that searched for Devlin. Guys, I put the SAR maps up. Um, I would say probably the second week I started talking about Devlin's case. So this lady didn't even look at my page before she started going off about SAR teams and such. So Devlin and those of us were boots on the ground for 2 months. I didn't hear you mention that one time, which is odd because I know James had contact with Jessica. Okay, but James didn't have contact with me. That's a whole different ball game. And I was still trying to gauge Jessica to see whether she was telling me the truth or not. I wanted to support her as a mom of a missing child, but there's certain things I can't support. When you decide you're not going to look for your son, and you just want sympathy and you want to go on these podcasts and, just get people to donate to you, and you're hateful towards people and mean, and, I won't work with that. That means that you're on your own and I'll work for Devlin. So I will give Mary a voice to the show receipts. So please understand I only approached you because you lied, ma'am. Okay, so again, she was telling me that they were going to be professional and kind and nice on the panel, and this is how she does me and doesn't let me say anything because, again, I can't reply to this. I have replied to it, but she knows that I can't reply back. Right. And then I wasn't going to go into my notes and start playing that game. So I just kind of waited. So, but I think you don't know, or you've been knowing for attacking random old ladies who donated something because you mistook the art for someone you don't trust, or for just saying Mary didn't donate anything money wise when she did. I tried to help you, but I see what I was told was correct. Please reconsider. Valid information is important for investigations. And I did give all the valid information with Mary lying to me and all of that. So finally, I realized that I could send emojis. So I'm like, where? Right? And she goes, please share. There's a predator involved. I said, thank you. I sure will. Oh, it let me send a message. She says, I'm already trying to get an idea for a good location for the first billboard so we can get an exact estimate. So this is after the live stream. So I'm not sure if she was blocking my messages. I'm not sure why they weren't going through. Maybe it was because I was brand new to TikTok or something. I have no idea. But either way, this is after the live stream right here, just so y'all know. She says I'm already getting good locations for the first billboard so we can get an exact estimate and Mary can bring that to the public for a vote. Now this is perfect, guys, right? Because this is exactly what was agreed upon on the live stream that she deleted. Right? And I'm like so excited that we had a compromise, because I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it did, and I was like, "Okay, good." Right? And I'm a cup, half full kind of a person. I'm not a cup half empty. I don't look at my cup and say, "Oh, it's half empty." I say it's half full. Right? So I'm always not trying to be too skeptical of a situation, and I was happy about it. So I wasn't trying to, say, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But I kind of had that thought in the back of my mind. Right. But you're gonna see here that we were trying to kind of work together here. And this is perfect because this is what was agreed upon exactly. Right. Then we can discuss ways to replace what is spent on a billboard and getting his face out there. Hopefully we can keep donations coming in and we can get multiple billboards. That would be just lovely. And I hearted her comment. I'm like, yeah, it would be lovely. That would be fantastic, right? Perfect. So I said, do you guys have the blip billboards or just the old-fashioned ones? And then I said, of course, it would be lovely. I said, Crystal's sister got one to go outside the sheriff's office. It was very effective. Not a blip billboard, but an old-fashioned one. I said, um, oh, is your sorry, I think I meant to say, is your live available to share on replay? Because I don't know why I said, is you available to share? I think I meant to put your live, so that was a typo on my part there. So, um, she says, so the cities do with the blip billboards and the small towns have the old fashioned ones. And I was like, okay, cool. That's what I was figuring. Because like Lake Odessa, I was thinking they probably didn't. Grand Rapids, probably so, or like to the surrounding areas. I'm still kind of learning Michigan. So says, oh, great. I was thinking I-94, right? Because she asked me where I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. I mean, where do you think? You guys live over there. I don't. Again, I'm not trying to overstep my bounds at all. I'm just trying to help Jessica. She wanted to know about that. I wanted to know about what happened with the reward money out of the horse's mouth. That's why I asked Mary to begin with. Um, Either way, she says, I'm thinking between here and Hastings. And I said, okay, in my brain, I'm like, oh, good. At least she knows what she's talking about. It was a traveled thing for him to my understanding. Okay, that gives me an idea for an estimate. I will call and find out. So she's, working on that. So I'm like, oh, this is a good thing, right? Again, I'm thinking this is awesome. And I said, I think that's a good start. I would put one in Lake Odessa because they get tourists because of the lakes, question mark, like asking about it, right? Because I don't know. Again, I'm a leader, not a follower per se, but I do follow if somebody knows more information than me, because that's normal, right? Um, aw, you have a friend out that way, NorCal SoGal? Yeah. Well, and I didn't grow up terribly far away from there, 3 hours only, so, I mean, I'm a little bit familiar with, areas like the area with big lakes and, all that. Um, so I said, "Yes, he went between there and Vermontville, his girlfriend lives there," and she says, "I can post the live to my YouTube," and so I was like, "Okay, so she is gonna keep her word," because I was very nervous that she was going to not post the live. Because I was getting a little bit nervous because I didn't understand why that it was taken down to begin with. I don't know how TikTok works. I really don't. So, excuse me, I've never gone live on TikTok. We'll just put it that way. So, she says I can post my live to YouTube. Hopefully, um, may need to do that on the computer. Lake O doesn't get too much traction, unfortunately. So she's telling me that, there's not a whole lot that goes down, tourists that come. So I was like, oh, okay. Um, and I said, okay, that would be great. I'll share it too. And she says, got it. And I said, dang, about the traction. Right. And then she says, that's why this really sucked. The resources are sacred. The town is very much out of the way and quiet. And then she gives me her email and she says, that's my volunteer email. So I said, oh, okay. Yeah, that's not good. I thought maybe people could come to visit and camp and fish. Thank you, Casper. Is that your YouTube channel name? And she says, I wish sadly Lake Go doesn't get people like that, and I fear that's why Ionia is struggling to get attention. And let me check. I think it's the same name, right? Because again, I wanted to be able to show you guys what was said on the live over there. Um, and then she says Casper Mitten Mama. And then I said, or she says, you may get a glimpse of what I've been through in real time for 2 weeks with Rebecca's family. And so I went over to her channel, and that's where I was seeing that they were, covering Rebecca Park, her case, right? And this is the same group that is, um, doing Devlin Tate's case now that Rebecca's case has been solved or she's been found, although her baby's still out there, unfortunately. So I know with and with the Rebecca Park case, her father, excuse me, and it's in the news clip that I shared, had told the searchers because he didn't really want to look himself right over, and then they ended up finding Rebecca. So, well done job on their part. I don't know why it's so difficult for her to put on her thinking cap when it comes to Devlin's case. I just think that maybe because she's so close to it, but um either way, it doesn't matter. She's entitled to her opinion too. I know with my own eyes that the body was not on the spot where they found it just days prior. That's wild. And I said, right, Detective Castle, right? It's not Casul, told me only 2 detectives in the office and they're bogged down, right? So when I talked to Detective Castle, she was telling me that they're having trouble, with that. They have little resources. I feel so bad for them, compromise their care of their communities. I said, so you went to that spot? Because I hadn't watched her video yet, right? At that point, I'm like, oh, you went to the spot. She said, law enforcement got so much crap when I watched them try. Several of us went by there and have my friends that also joking Steph's live were at the spot themselves. So, Steph's case files was on it. The body was not there. Um, they were live. So I was like, that's interesting, right? We didn't go live because I'm big on boundaries and I wouldn't want to live, uh, be live if I found someone, Yeah. And I agree with that. I don't think that that's a smart idea to live stream the searches. So one of them moved in the night and the recordings on my YouTube. So that was interesting. So I said, yeah, they always seem to get the most grief, LE. Oh, I would never live stream a search. Holy shit. I'm sorry. That's wild. Thank you for sharing this with me. I appreciate what you did for Rebecca too. And she says, girl, we saw so much. We caught Courtney, Kim, and so many lies. So we all got invested. Right, but it's the same thing with Devlin's case. That's why I'm so invested in Devlin's case is because there's so many lies and inconsistencies, and there's reasons behind that. Um, I'm surprised that she can recognize it in one instance and not in the other. So November 28th, still, girl, we saw so much. We caught Courtney out in them and so many lies. Half of us lost pages completely. I just got reported, so I couldn't go live on my Voices account. Not to mention, every adult around Rebecca was an RSO. Just, it was so much, and what we wanted it to all unfold. People protested outside her house because either evidence that one of them did something or how they spoke about each other. And I made a mad face at the RSO. And here's the thing, Devlin's case is full of RSOs as well. Just because he's a boy doesn't mean that he can't be SA'd, right? So I don't know if that's the big disconnect there or what, but there's a major disconnect. After the videos on my YouTube the next morning, magically her body appeared in the spot law enforcement and searchers had already combed, and we heard that as well, right? And that's why, when she was talking about the searchers, I'm like, it doesn't hurt to go over the areas again, right? Not in the snow and stuff. I mean, you're not going to be able to find anything in the snow, in my opinion, but um, it doesn't hurt to keep looking, right? If we haven't found him. So she sends me this I-94, which I thought we already got that taken care of. So, and I said, wow, I agree. Courtney is a liar. She said, which highway do you think would be best? Girl, so bad we saw her change her story like 7 times in a week, and Kim too. Right. And again, I don't know the area, so I didn't know which one to pick. I said, "Oh no, why would they ding you for that? I just watched one of your shorts. It did get heated." And I said, "Wow." And I heard it looked like she was placed there. I said I was thinking I-94 and question mark because I didn't know. And I said, I think Kim may have sold her baby on the dark web, but I don't know because that came from Courtney. And she says, girl, I have friends who lost their whole page. Someone in the family has a connection, or law enforcement uh, is saying shit. Oh, saying shut up. I do feel bad for law enforcement. You could tell the sheriff had never done this in the press conference. He was taking cues from the state cop who seemed seasoned at not disclosing anything that could later result in a mistrial. But people want the baby, so they're kind of coming down on law enforcement for being tight lipped. And I agree. I said, I agree. Something is up and it's all fishy. At least they did oppress her. And I said, oh, yes, people want answers. And where is that baby? My heart breaks for Rebecca, praying he is found safe. She said, "Yeah, I meant it when I said I need my whiteboard, and the last time I wiped out the Casey Anthony times, or excuse me, whipped out." She says, "I hope this, including the community and my ideas, will bring peace. Maybe we can use sign up Genius as a way to let people volunteer to run different small events around the area to add to the fund." That was suggested and not a bad idea. And again, guys, I mean, there's not much that I can do from Florida. We need people to be boots on the ground in Michigan. We need Michiganders to step up, and do stuff like this, right? And I think it's a very good thing. But there's not a whole lot that I can do from here. I mean, I would share it on my page if I thought it was legitimate, but I don't want to share something that I don't think is legitimate and that they're not being honest about. So that's what's hindering me, sharing it out or trying to, help with it as well. Because I know a lot of people watch from Michigan here too. So hey, aloha JH, good to see ya. So this was suggested, not a bad idea. This live ended, but then I could go watch it. Um, she got her page back. She was sharing one of her friends, right? And then I said, "Yes, we need pins and yarns. Oh, fantastic. I think that would be wonderful. He has to be out there somewhere. Last scent was at Tupper Creek and Bonanza Road, to the best of my knowledge." Jules said she might know Canine Quinn's handler. "I have tried to so hard to get the family to work together, but there's something really, or there's some really bad blood, like years and years worth. Also, no one knows who Devlin's dad is. Ed Mansfield swears he is, and Jessica swears he isn't. Ugh," right? Because I was still going through that back and forth, and I still am. I said, "Tina is his grandmother, and I am going to have her reach out, whatever you send me the link from Munchie." So she sent me this link from Missing in America. I sent it over to Tina, but then Tamra ended up reaching out to them and got Devlin on there. So I was really excited about that, right? Munchie said, "Put NA if no answer, every field must be filled out." And I said, "Okay." Right? She said, Could you have by chance have your search teams check out areas in Vermontville and Hastings, etc." And I said, "I absolutely would do that. Great minds think alike." And then I ended up sending her another message. Um, oh no, sorry, this is still November 30th. Says, "I'm excited for the holiday to be over and hear community's ideas. A really good one actually was suggested today, and I'm overwhelmed, but in a good way. I will be following up on everything. Even community members are messaging me. I hope this helps heal this community and get traction going." And I said, "Could you ask what routes Devlin would take to walk to get to Hastings or Vermontville?" Excuse me. And she says, "Yes, I'm gathering info from my different sources that see what all we can say, and there's anything search wise we might or maybe should discuss in private. It appears I will be the facilitator of setting up events, as I seem to be the one person who um person they want to, which is totally fine. I hope Jody can maybe pitch in, and that would be wonderful, as she has experience." And I said, "Oh, that's so wonderful. I will be praying for that. I know this is so hard," right? So she says, "I honestly really wanted to stay behind the scenes, but I'm so invested in Devlin and the fact that I have been able to communicate with multiple parties who hate each other while maintaining sanity and calm. I feel I owe it to Devlin to keep trying and bring people together." I said, "Oh, I don't know, Jody." I said, "I think you're doing great and all you can. I will help out as much as possible." Right? And then she sends me a post that isn't has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. Right? My newest case in Grand Rapids. I said I will repost it. Appreciate. Okay, so then she sends me this message. So everything's going great up until this point. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. You guys let me know. But all of a sudden, she sends me this. Appreciate respectfully, my people here are fuming. I saw what your followers said on Thanksgiving, and I didn't really care how my people, including my family, are heated, especially at Chew Fella for the things that were said to keep any conflict from arising. I think I'll stay away from your lives. I know my people, and they will flip if I go back without an apology. Okay. Honestly, I could care less because the blue check mark was to get my post about missing people seen more. And yes, I do gladly pay for it. I don't care what you do. I can get over talking, shit talking, although I do wish I would have seen this before I chatted it up with people who were dogging me the day before because now that seems they have caused drama. No, you caused the drama. We wouldn't even know who you were unless you came out of the woodwork. So she says, I'm getting a lot of flack right now from many different opinions on many different things, but my care is for Devlin and working with everyone to move forward. If any of my people come to your live and say a word, just block them. I hope they will listen to me, but my family can be known not to. Well, her family has never came over here to be disrespectful ever. And if her family came into the chat, we would be respectful to them. Um, yeah, it's weird this misconception about how people are over here in the chat and things like that. Yeah, when a new person comes along, we say hello to that person, and that person's able to talk and conversate and sit in here and shoot the shit, right? So, I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the subjects, the topics. Um, some of these people don't like to talk about the subjects or the topics. They want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about how it affects them. We don't do that here. We talk about the case, right? So it was giving me messages to block her because of some of the stuff she was saying, I suppose, because I don't know why it's telling me to tap here to block her. But anyway, so she sends me the Devlin Tape fundraising, right? And here it is. I thought I'd share this with you, what the community has come up with so far. Great ideas, right? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time to look at that. So honestly, when she sent that over, I didn't click it. I just said, these are all great ideas. And I know that was a lie on my part. But I really didn't know why she wasn't sending me the poll or anything, about anything. It was weird, right? Because now we're after the holidays. The holidays are over with. Where's the poll? Where's the live that you had? What's going on, right? So I'm like, I think anything that can be done to raise awareness is a good thing, right? This is my generic statement. Yeah, these are all great ideas. I think anything can be done to raise awareness is a good thing. Have you heard any word on Mary making the poll? Right? I wanted to share the live and the live you did with my audience, but I don't see it on your YouTube. I said, ugh, I hate to even bring it up, but who made the skull? Right? I hope curiosity doesn't kill the cat here. So I'm asking her about the skull. She said, I think Mary wants to have estimates tomorrow before something voting. Maybe she meant voting. Polly, the old lady who made the skull, to be fair, I don't think that it was what you said. I think this community cares a lot and felt maybe you were attacking them. That was why I stepped in because I figured this lady can't be horrible if she cares about a missing person. That's why what made me want to reach out. And I'm sorry if I was defensive. Uh, these are my people, So when a few older ladies come to me about some lady making fun of their work online, I was like, geez, let's try to fix this if we can. Okay, I don't know why they couldn't come to me themselves. That's weird, but whatever. I think it was just an excuse to start a fight, but I didn't let her, so you know. I'm trying to download that live, but apparently my phone storage sucks. I'm gonna try on a computer when I get home from work uh, in the AM. And I said I completely understand that way people feel like they know what they're voting for. Rebecca, these are my friends who pushed Courtney. So she still wants to send me stuff about Rebecca, right? But Rebecca was found. I said, "Oh, okay, I just don't know if you made it." And the more I thought about it, it may be a young person made it, and I didn't want to hurt a kid or anyone. I do understand what you're saying about the community thinking I was dogging them. As an outsider looking in, there were a lot of people that knew Devlin's situation and they didn't help him. A lot of people seem to know him in passing, but not a lot of people seem to know him very well at all. When I asked Mary if she knew Devlin, she said yes through her garage sales, but I have evidence of her hanging out at Bob's barn, and also that is where Devlin hung out. I also let you know have to let you know, if you don't, that Laura Cobb is the one who told me about Devlin's story. She had been a mod of mine for a long time, and all of a sudden she stopped coming in, and it was because she was involved in Devlin's story. Oh, sorry guys, I had a little pop up. Um, she had been or sorry, because she was involved with Devlin's story. I asked her to come on my panel um, and talk. With me because she is local and but she spread a bunch of misinformation and said that Jessica did not want to talk to anyone, and that is not the truth. I've been lied to by every single person in that community I've spoken to. I'm not including you in that by any means. As a matter of fact, when I saw you up there on your TikTok, I saw someone who was much like myself, who is just wants Devlin's name, or excuse me, just wants Devlin to be found. I'm not sure about many more of the other people. I took Laura Cobb's wrench because she lied to me, and because she started selling Devlin's keychains to make profit off of his missing case. Uh, could make She could make good money if she was to actually uh, fill the area, film. I meant to say film the area and actually hand out flyers and work, but she chooses to take the easy way and make money off the back of the missing child. I am not okay with that. Please don't be sorry. I'm glad you reached out. She says, I can't make shit with my pots. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought she meant because she smokes too much. I had no idea that it's like a thing, right? So she says, I shake a lot. The community said they felt left out, so hopefully this eases everyone and includes everyone. So here's her thing on pots. All right, so that's what POTS looks like, guys. I don't know, but that's what POTS looks like from her perspective. So I told Mary to make sure that the small amount of anything Laura makes to keep receipts, she's out in the account, or she out in the account. Laura is special needs and she meant well, just doesn't quite understand boundaries. Well, it's not a boundary issue, it's a greed issue. in my opinion, you know. So, and I said, and I have to say, I'm really sorry because I know this might just be my way of thinking, but if she cared about Devlin or giving Devlin money, she would have given him money when he was still here and helped him out. I just feel like there's a lot of regret, and maybe that's why people are so on edge. I just have to make sure that I tell the entire story for Devlin, not for anyone else, just for him, so his voice can be heard. She says, "I don't care, or I don't know if you know that." And I did know that because Laura told me. But I don't look at people who have special needs as disabled. I look at them as having different abilities. And I thought Laura, was fine to come on my panel. I worked with her in town chat for 2 days before they came up. Um, I'll help people out when I see that they need extra help. That doesn't bother me at all. It's the stabbing in the back and the ugliness and the taking from a missing child that I don't get down with. I said, or she says, I don't talk to Laura because I'm a behavior technician and I know she wants help but doesn't quite understand things like us. I'm trying to word it kindly. All right. I said, if it wasn't for you having that live, we wouldn't have had a compromise like we do now. Right. So I'm trying to get her to, like understand that, I think it's good. It's a good thing. No worries. We don't have to keep bringing crap up. I don't know. Let's just move forward. And she says, I will say, even when I myself was sick and in need of help, donations are hard to come by. And I don't think anyone from TikTok even donated when I did post the big sale video. TikTok, you got to be popular to make money, honestly, to get donations. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't care how much they try to minimize what Sabrina made on it. It's still, she's never given a number for that. And the numbers keep changing. And if it's the truth, it doesn't change, it just stays the same. She says, yes, and my hope is I can do the same between Tammy and the community. I know the lost trust because of Sabrina, but want to help. And I said, I know about Laura and her special needs, but I will tell you, I've worked with people with special needs, and there's nothing more that they like to get over on people who don't have special needs. It's kind of a power play, and I love it. But yeah, she did a lot of dirt, girl. A lot of dirt, and I just can't have her representing my channel. She says, I did tell Mary, try to ask Laura to relax and just support by sharing. I feel she doesn't need to be in the situation anyway for her situation, just in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think that Laura or anybody that doesn't have a bunch of money should be putting their hands on money that, should be going towards a specific cause because it's too easy. We already saw that with Sabrina. Good night, Hawkeye. Um, and we saw that with Sabrina. And again, if she needed her car to be fixed, I understand why she would take the money, right? So I'm sorry. I know it's hard. That's why I wanted to take Jessica under my wing, so to speak, not because I don't think she's capable, but because I think she could use a hand. She says, I agree. It's been so weird, her down there, and many of us want to talk to her and tell her what we've done, but no one wants to intrude. Okay, I don't know if that's an intrusion. She needs all the help she can get. So, well, she took another one of my mods and turned her completely against me, which was completely out of the realm of my understanding, and I still don't get what's going on, but they got together and said they were blaming Tia Randall's family, and I don't know if you're familiar with Adam Nolan, but Jessica is adamant that that's Devlin's real father, and he is serving prison time in Michigan for killing Tia Randall. Again, I can't have people making those types of accusation and victimizing victims like they were out of control. And they were going from place to place saying that, and yeah, it's just not true. I have the community tour into even each other during this. It broke my heart to watch. I honestly have my own assumptions and what happened based off of information from SAR teams and LE. I truly think who we need to wonder about isn't direct family. I wish I could say more, but my tongue is tied until I get the green light, which would probably Devlin, mean we found Devlin. So I said I had so many complaints from community members myself about Laura Cobb, their community, not our community, guys, just so you know. I had emails and all that, private messages, um, saying that she's a liar and all of that stuff. And I tried to protect her. So being stabbed in the back by her and another lady, if she's Town Chat Cafe on YouTube, but she also goes by Disa, and she has been all over the Help Find Devlin Tate page. She says, however, the whole family has to understand why they seem sketchy. I will say, Carrie, and I agree with that part right there, because, like I said, I was still trying to figure out whether Jessica was telling me the truth or what was going on there. Something was always very off about her, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. Um, I will say, Carrie, from her makes things worse. I have seen her in Brandy's comments on Devlin, or have you seen any of her in Brandy's comments on Devlin's page? And I said, trust me when I say I haven't ruled anyone out. Um, Devlin had those friends of his that were not good influences in Vermontville, and I just wonder if there was something that happened that he didn't tell anybody about, or maybe he was about to. Right? I'm just throwing some stuff out there because, and then oh, sorry, take that down. Um, she's saying that people were dogging the cops who have worked hard in spreading misinformation. Carrie joins your live a lot. And I said, yeah, Carrie is a feisty one, isn't she? And I said, Brandy Egan. And she said, the GR, I think Grand Rapids, the friends, the jealousy, many things people don't see. Yes, both of them had me like, what, yesterday? I said, I said, see, that's the thing I want to do is dog, uh, that is the last thing I want to do is dog the cops. I told Jessica she needs to have a better relationship with them. She's got all defensive and said I don't have a bad relationship with them, but then again, they have not had any communication with her. Right? And that's a big one in these cases, guys. Even if we don't trust or like law enforcement, they're the ones that we have to go to in this, So I understand the public doesn't always trust law enforcement. There's times where I don't trust law enforcement. Asking questions about things that have already done, saying they have been done. Well, so big deal. Um, if my daughter was missing, I would be reminding the police all the time gently that I need answers, and I would also probably be sending them goodies and treats whenever I had to. And that was kind of a joke in a way, but not really. This is why I ask community members to trust and relax. The way this town has harassed the cops, and it's people like Carrie who keep going. I won't even talk to her because she's so dramatic, but I wish she would stop with the insinuations that no one is doing anything. And, I can't control what Carrie does, right? And I said I friended Brandy Egan, but I haven't reached out to her yet, right? So again, not trying to talk bad about anybody particularly, but going on about, what happened personally with community or how I got involved with Dublin. I agree with that. That's why I also wanted everyone to know that Tammy is the one that put Devlin's information out on NamUs, got it out there. You know what I mean? And she says they really are. They know things we can't say and have been looking into. I said Tammy is wanting to fix, manage, control, and I know being a mom sometimes that's what we do. I'm glad to hear that. And she said, I will say if someone in the family is lying, they better hope the cops get to them first. I feel Tammy will run over someone with the wheelchair if she finds out anyone in her immediate uh hurt Devlin. Right? So She says, I feel that. I said, but Jessica, I have really tried to get Jessica to give them the respect they deserve and also to try and reach out to them in order to get answers. Sometimes it takes 10 phone calls to get what you wanted the first time. 100%. Um, I won't say this live I won't say this live or in public, but I was very suspicious of the lies of the girlfriend the day before communication with her. And I don't know if she's talking about Marie, but I'm guessing so. I think the main reason why Tammy and Jessica don't get along is because they're exactly alike. Because I can see her jumping up and running to Michigan to try to figure out whatever she could. I just know that she doesn't have the means, and then she also has a special needs child. The thing that she needs to be doing is going to Michigan, or the last thing she needs to do is go to Michigan and cause trouble, you know? And she says, because I got told to keep my opinions to myself until we find physically Devlin. I think it's pride. They both failed him on different ways, and now it feels like a contest. And then I put a little, party emoji because I agree with that. I said I agree, and she told Tammy that she pinged Devlin at 9:30 over by the Family Dollar. Um, the girlfriend is the one person I won't speak to once you lied to the authorities. Nope. And I said exactly. Yeah, that's not good. Even though Devlin was older than she seems to have had a bad influence on him as well. And she says, yeah, I'm not a fan, but I keep my bias out of it. I would definitely say there is more to that. Uh, that's why I'm hoping we can dial up the pressure. Right? But the thing is that you are being biased because you said that you're not going to talk to her again because of the police. The lying to the police thing, right? Maybe if we can all come together, it will scare someone. And she did the look thing. That's what I'm hoping for too. I think if we join forces, that people would be worried. Your detective cap is a good one. Plus, it's different when you really actually care for these people, right? So again, I'm giving her the huge benefit of the doubt, right? And I know that you what you mean about the iPhone storage or phone storage. She can convert and upload videos. Story of my life. It takes forever, and I'm always having to delete things and so much crap. I just really want to show my community why there was a shift in the change of heart, and I also want to uh, them to see what it's like for people to work together and that we have differences of opinion or that maybe it got off on the wrong foot, but something like that is very important, especially because people are so protective. And she says, apparently, my paycheck, I need to invest in something because my phone's struggling handing all the work I do, right? Handling, I think she meant to say. Right? But here's the thing, guys, and I'm just gonna break in here for just a second from reading here. But you know, everything was going good and going back and forth just fine, right? And I'm like, well, good. We're both, giving a little, taking a little, taking a little, giving a little, right? And so I'm like, okay, so this isn't so bad. But I also wanted to show you guys what had happened at the live stream that she deleted because I thought it was a good thing, but little did I know that she was never going to keep her end of the bargain. She was never going to keep her word, you know? Thank you, Jackie T. No, I haven't heard a peep from any of them. No, CC. And I don't expect to. Um, and I will not reach out. I'm just going to keep independently working to find Devlin. I actually have some pretty solid things that I've been working on, which is a good thing. So, um, but yeah, I didn't realize that they weren't going to repost this or whatever. So she says, I'm hoping these fundraisers can bring people together. I will set these up regardless of what the community decides on how we go about it all. I like the idea for starting out with color posters open a separate account handled by non-family, not me. I want nothing to do with the money, and setting up these different events throughout December to January. And they've not set up one event for December. December's over. I am not calling Applebee, or I am calling Applebee's to see if we can kick off the whole thing with a community pancake breakfast, and all proceeds go straight into the account, so we could have a reward and a fundraising account to add billboards, digital ads, Facebook ads, etc. And this is where I knew that she was not going to keep her word, and that something was wrong. And I was also like, well, I've never heard of Applebee's doing like that type of a breakfast, but they do. They do like a flapjack breakfast. So I did look it up, and then I was like, okay, maybe I'm just being too skeptical, So I was like, oh, and you know, and all of that stuff. So I was kind of second guessing myself, even though, so that's why I called her a master manipulator. If she's wondering why I called her that, is because she actually had me wondering if my own instincts were wrong or incorrect. And people like that, they always worry me, because that's some dark triad shit, right? In the personality flaw department. Very narcissistic. Um, so she tells me Tammy was hurt. She won't have a chance to redeem herself, but after talking with her, I think she's upset. She hoped the community would give her another chance and she could be part of it. I told her she can help, volunteer, etc., but to respect everyone, we must stick with no family on accounts. It's going to seem harsh, but we can ask the community to help and I think she meant to say can't ask the community to help and put them in any situations that burn them before. I know it hurts her feelings, but this is the L she's going to have to take for the better of Devlin. And this is the thing right here that I don't understand, because she can think logically here, right? Not here or here so much, but right here, you know? So it's very odd to me how she just shifts, you know? Um, thank you guys. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you. I'm trying. It's been tough, but I do just keep focusing on him, and that helps me a lot, because this stuff is whew, and this isn't even the half of it. Um, the local Applebee's in Indiana, they called and said they'd love to set up a pancake breakfast fundraiser, and we can get it set up ASAP. So I don't know why, because this is November 30th and we're at December 24th, and they still haven't had this pancake breakfast. And she came on to uh, Piper's live stream earlier and said that they're going to do the pancake breakfast. But she made it sound like in November that they were ready, that Applebee's, right, in Indiana was ready to go. ASAP means as soon as possible. Nothing has happened. Right? And then December 1st, she sends me the Missing in America, right? That's Munchie. That helped me out with the compromise and the billboards. And then she says, sorry, I work a lot, so I send messages when I can, but does just have a representative she can trust to be on a separate account if that's what the community chooses. And I'm like, skirt, right? I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to need to back up. Hold on, wait a minute. What? Right? Because I'm like, what is she talking about? A separate account for money all of a sudden? I thought the family wasn't going to get any money and we were going to keep it fair. And I thought maybe they put it in a trust or something. Nope, nope, not so fast. They're not going to do the right thing. So she says, I think it's fair to say each side has a trusted representative that wasn't part of the toxicity that may also ease kinds that, oh, what happened before won't happen again. So it'll ease minds, I think she meant to say. Um, and so I said, yes, I think she does. Did you make the poll or did Mary? Because I can't find it. I said, also, I can't find the stream where you just decided the poll would be for the billboards, right? Because look at me. You guys can, you guys can see me in real time. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right. Hold on. Hold on. I didn't go to college. No, I'm just kidding. But come on, this is fucked up already. All right. So I'm like, and then I told her, I said, I work 24/7 too. So like what that doesn't mean I'm not gonna keep to my word, right? So we got a to be continued, guys, because it doesn't stop here. Oh Lord. And that's me saying stop. And then that's her saying, I'll post it soon. Yeah, right. Aw, thank you, little Miss Sharon, for your super sticker. Oh my goodness. Can you guys believe this? It's crazy. It's crazy. Right. So tomorrow I have some voice to text for you guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and read my text messages off. I'll put them on the screen, right? So you guys will be able to see them, but I'll read my text messages and then I'll let her do the voice text. I already have every single one of them recorded. I did that last night. So then I'll just record myself tonight. So that way it goes a little bit. Bo, Bo says laud. I know, girl. I'm like, oh, here we go, right? Crazy, 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 crazy. So I'm like, okay, I could do that, a check mark. Um, you know, so tomorrow will be a little bit easier to listen to in terms of, how the flow will be because I know I've been doing a lot of reading with you guys. And then I have some funnies to put into the other video as well that I couldn't fit in this one. And so hold on, sorry, let me put my head here. And we'll put Devlin up here. So let me make myself a little bit smaller. So it's everyone that failed Devlin, in my opinion. I can't say that one did it more than the other or that, anybody had the worst intentions in mind, but I don't think that they had Devlin's best interests in mind or how he would feel about things or anything like that. You know, I also think that we have crisis actors on our hands that are too worried about themselves and not enough about the missing kids. So that's an issue in and of itself. But we're going to keep trucking along and we're going to talk a little bit more. Now, we have an interview with Jessica that is about 40 minutes long. And that's the reason why I didn't make a big long video because then I realized by the time I put all of this information in that I was going to have to go back, right, a little bit too, because Mary Much is going to come up on the panel and talk. So I got my work cut out for me for that. But that's okay. And we're going to also do the sweater party tomorrow because I got two sweaters. I got a hoodie and then I got a sweater that I think you guys will like that lights up and everything. So it should be fun. I haven't cammed up in a while and I can't wait to be on there with you guys. So, oh, Merry Christmas, Kiki. Thanks for coming in. I didn't even realize you were still awake, girl. I thought I was like, oh my gosh, I'm 3 hours. And plus I was so late today. Well, 15 minutes later than usual. And then I was like 5 minutes late getting on. So, but just really important topics that, Jessica goes over in the live a little bit. And, it's going to be a trigger warning for you guys. These other channels, they don't understand the case like we do. They haven't been covering it as long as we have. They don't understand everything or know everything that we know, So I'm just glad they're covering his case. But what you're gonna see with Jessica over there is gonna be pretty shocking. In my opinion, it was at least. Just yeah, we're gonna get into it tomorrow, but it should be fun. And like I said, oh yeah, thanks, Kiki. I know I always try to put it up in case people want to watch and read it themselves. So, and then you guys are gonna be able to see my Snoop dog, Snoop on a stoop. I like him. He's so cute. Um, so you guys are gonna have a good show planned for tomorrow. And then on Christmas, I would like to do a show about Sebastian. So, aw, thank you, NorCal So Gal. Thank you so much. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, Lady Freedom. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, NorCal So Gal. Thank you so much. And yeah, come stop by, guys. I'm gonna do late night shows, this week because of course I know people are doing family gatherings and things like that. So I'm so happy about that. For you guys and for everybody, spending time with their family members and everything like that. I hope you guys all have a wonderful and safe time, safe travels if you are, and all of that. So, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I didn't even hear of them until I went and I was looking to Walmart today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get one of these. Yes, new for the yeah, because they had oh gosh, they had Martha Stewart ones too. And I don't think they had Dolly on the shelf, Dolly Parton, but they had a bunch of her stuff over there. And I got Jack Skellington sweaters, and so I was like, well, I can't really wear like a pink hat with it. Unless I have a hot pink hat like from Pink the store, pink, but it's old. So if I was to go to my storage, I might do that, but I know I'll never get there in time. But yeah, Christmas Day we'll do a live about Sebastian. Um, you know, and we'll talk about him that day. I still want to make a video about the mistakes that were made in Sebastian's case. I think there were a lot. Yes, NorCal SoCal, exactly. Snoop Elf on the shelf. And I have them right next to my National Lampoons too. So I'm excited. It'll be cute. You guys will like my set. I have it all decked out for Christmas and um for Sebastian. So we'll definitely be doing that um tomorrow. So yeah, so we'll do that and it'll be excuse me, it'll be 11:30 Eastern time most likely. If anything, I'll do 15 minutes late, but I doubt it. I think I'll have everything because I have all the information I need gathered up. Um That's funny. Skeletor, oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, that's cute. NorCal SoCal, that's too funny. I love Jack Skellington. My hubby and I both call him Skeletor. That'd be hilarious, like a Skeletor Christmas sweater. I was there too late. I got too much, I was everything was really picked over by the time I got there. So um oh, you guys are in the 60s? Oh, that's nice. See, it's nice here like that too. Like even today I put the air on and it was like, it was already dark out and stuff and usually it's cooled down by but it was just like humid and stuff. So, um well, I hope I made you guys laugh with our amateur night that we did tonight and I'm going to do the part 2 tomorrow like I said and then we'll go check in with Sebastian's case. Um I just hate that there's another Christmas without Sebastian. Um, so we'll definitely um have a good show plan there and we'll do a nice little tribute. So oh cool. Ooh, that's wonderful. Southern brunch sounds so good. That is so good. Ah, yeah, I can't sleep when it's hot either, Kiki. No way. I'm turning that baby down or whatever. Yes, watch the replay, Kiki. It's interesting. I mean, they're really backtracking on this reward girl, and I don't know why. And if they're doing it, I don't know why they don't just be quiet about it. Like they keep talking about it now. Every single interview that I'm reviewing, they're talking about it. We also have Sabrina's interview to do. So either way, I love you guys all so very, very much, and I hope you have the best Christmas Eve ever. And I will talk to you very soon. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much, Bo and Ann Reynolds, Kiki, Cece, NorCal SoGal. Thank you guys all so much for being here and caring so much about Devlin. We're going to find him. And thank you, little Miss Sharon, for being here always. Chuchi, I know our Chuchi's not feeling good tonight. But I just really appreciate you guys being here for Devlin. Hawkeye too. I know they went to bed early. Hey, Ann Brock. So yes, we will commence tomorrow night for night court. The conclusion of the crazy texts. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening and be safe out there.